All right. What's going on, everybody? This is Jay Leno. I am here with the crew. I got Jonah and Fox in here. I've got
Yo,
SSJ Rose in
What's
here.
up?
I
What's
got
up?
Bundle in here. Say what's up to everybody, man.
Hello.
What's up?
All right,
What
what's
man.
up, what
happening?
up, what up?
All right, man. All right. So, be sure to hit that like button. All right. We right now would like to honor a death in hip hop that happened today, which was from Rich Homie Quan. We are going to give a 30-second moment of silence for Rich Homie Quan, and we're going to do it starting now. All right, man. Blessings for the family of Rich Homie Quan. You were an inspiration to and a part of the introduction to a generation of hip hop. Sad to see you go at such an early age. Um, all right, guys. We're about to continue on with this stream. All right,
Okay.
so we're going to start this segment off going into the Marvel Universe. In particular, we're going to be talking about the Marvel Ultimates series, issue 4, which this is going to coincide and also have an influence into possibly being implemented into the MCU. I'm going to go down the list. I'm going to start off with you, Jonan. Like, how'd you feel about reading the Ultimates issue 4?
Well, I can't say that I didn't read it per se, but it's actually pretty interesting though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, oh, there's some Star Wars type of stuff where they basically like the maker or Reed Richards like found like a variation of himself or I guess a more older version of himself, tortured him and just turned him into his own kind of like Darth Vader basically.
Yeah, it's
So like,
crucial.
yeah,
Did brain surgery on boy. It was
yeah,
crazy.
that was crazy.
That was wild.
Uh,
All right. Well, SSJ, what was your take on the Ultimates?
I
Ah.
I have the same thought process. It kind of reminded me of like what was it? Like it kind of reminds me of like when somebody goes to like an alternate, like kind of like Reverse Flash. That's the best way I could put it. Like he found a future version of himself and figured out he was a villain, so he decided to go full villain, pretty much. And that's pretty much what I got from Reed Richards going the Doom route,
Huh?
which I thought was pretty cool.
I got you. Yeah, I see. Okay, with me, I haven't read too many of the Fantastic Four comics, so I'm going in this kind of green, not too not I'm not informed too much, but for this particular take on I guess it was kind of dark. I mean, especially what happened with the Fantastic Four in this issue and within its crash. And I was actually on my way out of the comic book store, and the guy that was the cashier who was running the counter at that particular time. He was like, "Hey, you might want to buy this comic because this might be an influence to how they're going to implement Tony Stark in the MCU." And I was like, "Oh, really?" But then I mean, I looked at the cover, of course, and I'm like, and then when I read it out, I don't know. At first, I was kind of like, so what I got from this is so are they going to try and have the maker kind of influence Tony Stark the way the maker had did this with Mr. Fantastic?
No, I don't think that's going to be the case at all. And I don't think that because they've already confirmed that they're not bringing Iron Man back and that Robert Downey Jr. is not playing Iron Man again, and that he specifically requested to play. He didn't want to play Iron Man again, so he will be Victor Von Doom. But it's not going to just be some kind of Iron Man variant turned into Doom. It's just going to be Robert Downey Jr. just playing Victor Von Doom.
Okay, so do you think we're going to get some sort of a multiverse? This Fantastic Four is considered to be in a different Earth?
I could see multiverse because what they're saying is that it's going to take place in the 60s. And if that's the case, they already said that Doctor Doom would make a cameo appearance in the end credit scene. So I could see them potentially having some kind of incursion happen to where at the end of the movie, they're all brought into the current year MCU. That's my thoughts, though. I could see them doing something like that.
Okay. I could as well. So I'm going to open up this tab. How about yourself, Jonan? Like, you got any assumptions? Oh, okay. Well, then now that you're back, Bundle, what's your how was the ultimate issue, and how would you see how it could be implemented into the MCU with this story?
Implement within the MCU. Now it would have to be Robert Downey Jr.'s Doomsday. It'd be interesting to see that, but I think that they would probably implement the things that happened in the first three issues rather than what happened in issue 4. Issue 4 was just basically how this Doom became that Doom and what the Maker did, and that they only have like 6x months until the Maker comes back. But the first 3 issues, establishing Iron Lad, freeing freeing America Chavez from underneath the White House, and then freeing, Captain America, getting Giant Man and Wasp together. I think that would be a better story adapted, and also what I'm trying to think of. Refresh my mind. What happened before that started all this? I know the Maker did what he did. But he put up some temporal something so they could only go like 6 months in the past or in the future. So they couldn't really. God, I got to read it again. But anyway, that's not your question. Your question is how I felt about 4. 4 was just basically explaining why this Doom is the way that he is, how Reed became this Doom, and what the Maker did to him. And so basically, I just took it as an origin story. It didn't really progress the story. The first 3 issues progressed it more as far as an adaptation to the MCU. I don't really see this 4th issue being adapted to the movies, but the first 3 issues could, Thor still being hurt, Sif being part of it, them, re-engaging Wasp and Giant Man, Hank Pym. I think that's a little better storyline, but this 4th one was just kind of meh. The Avengers and Aliens and Wolverine story is better than this one.
Okay.
As of right now, they're getting there.
All right. So, as far as influence, Jonan, like, do you have any assumptions you want to make with how do you think Doom's going to be implemented, or how this comic could influence and go into the MCU?
Personally, myself, all I can say is everything's a possibility at this point. But mostly, I got my own personal opinions. Like, obviously, I'm not a huge fan of Robert Downey Jr. coming back to play as Dr. Doom. That's a little weird,
Mickelson.
Right. But aside from that, though, because personally myself, I'm just like, Dr. Doom is not really a character that always, like, he rarely ever shows his face because, he got his little scars and all that stuff. So I was just thinking, all right, well, if you're going to bring Robert Downey Jr. back in this, then at least make him wear the mask the whole time. But since it's the MCU, we kind of know that they got to show his face. So I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got to show, we got Robert Downey Jr. because I think he might have the voice, and he can probably bring like that little, maybe a little bit more of a morbid kind of dark humor, a little bit on Doom's side, I guess.
How do you think they're gonna transform his voice? Because you know they're gonna do something. When that mask thing comes out, it's not gonna be his voice. Because even when he had the Iron Man mask, it was still Tony's voice. It's not gonna be Robert Downey Jr.'s voice. It's gonna like muffle. You think they're gonna do like a Bane route or just go deep bass tone, or I don't know.
I'm going Vader.
Or maybe some
Vader,
electric Vader, some electric Vader boogie.
Yeah, that's how I'm going with it.
King Kong or some Bane over the top shit.
I feel like he might use I don't know. I personally feel like he might as well just use his regular voice.
What? No. I would go Disney. If he uses regular voice, I'll get so mad.
Contrary to what y'all are saying, I don't think he's gonna have any of that shit. He's just gonna have his regular voice. He'll sound just like Tony Stark, Iron Man, but he'll just be evil. He'll be like, shit.
Okay. With respect, I think it'll be like how they did in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It's the guy's voice, but it has a little, like, almost an intercom dark echo after every syllable you said.
I'm with that.
But you really don't hear until he finishes his sentence. So it's like it's his voice, but then it gives this type of robotic vibrato echo that's a little deeper than his original tone. And I'm just like, okay, if you do that, I'm not mad. Because even if you think about that first Fantastic Four movie that they had, remember when old boy Johnny, Chris Evans made that whole fire tornado around old boy? And he was like, that's all you can do? A little heat? It was still the same guy's voice. You know, I mean, it wasn't deep or anything like that. So if they do keep it the same way, it won't be a tragedy, but I would like to hear that type of shit. You know what I mean? Because in all the video games and trailers and cartoons, it is a slight robotic-esque to the end of his sentences. So I would like to hear that. We'll see.
Yeah, you're right, but I still don't see. I could still see them just giving him the
you're right.
Tony Stark boy.
Probably.
You know what? When he puts on the mask for the one time in the movie, he'll probably have that echo voice like you said once, and then he'll take the mask right off, and then he'll just be regular Tony Stark.
I can see it.
He won't even have like the accent for it either.
Or he'll have it and they'll get like broken, so it's still like half his face or something like that. So it's respected Doom, and you still get to like, hey, get the money shot. I'm Robert Downey Jr., bitch. You know.
Go watch some of his other movies. Like he acts the same in every movie, so he'll just be like, oh shit, I'm evil. So now I'm Doom, and I have my tech, and I'm gonna take over the world because I'm Doom and not Stark. I could easily see him doing some.
So is that what your assumption of what we're gonna get from like Fantastic Four? Or when do you think Doom's going to get introduced? Do you think we're going to get?
Oh shit! I just realized
Fantastic
Johnny is the same dude from Stranger Things, ain't he?
Wait, what?
Wait, who?
Johnny is the same boy from Stranger Things.
The new actor.
Johnny who?
Johnny Storm, you talking about?
Yeah.
Is he?
It's the same boy from Stranger Things who played the guitar joint, right? In Stranger Things. It's the same dude. That's not him?
Talking about Eddie from Stranger Things? I don't think
that's not the same face of the dude that just was in Quiet Place 2?
Let me... Or someone else is looking.
I don't do names. I do faces. Is that the same guy? I'm thinking about it. The guy that's playing Johnny Storm, isn't it the same dude from Stranger Things that also was in Quiet Place 2? Maybe I'm tripping. You got the same face.
I mean, I didn't watch all the episodes.
Never mind. Upward said it is him. He played Eddie. All right. See, I don't know nothing about Stranger Things. I didn't watch it, but I don't do names, but I do faces. See, that's my artistic shit.
That's a good catch because I didn't recognize him without that wig.
That's my shit. It's Joseph Quinn. There you go. Yeah, that's the dude that Doja Cat tried to slide in his DMs, and he said, "Nah, bitch." Yeah. You said be a cow.
She's crazy.
You gotta be careful when they do witchcraft.
Shout out to Upward Ninja right now.
Or dress up demonically.
All right,
Yeah.
so SSJ, do you have an assumption of like how do you think this will be implemented in the MCU?
You
Or
mean
like-
how Doctor Doom is gonna be, or just how Doctor Doom will be implemented just in the movie?
I guess kind of both, or like could you see any influences of this particular issue that could be implemented in the MCU?
They should really just do a total adaptation of the Battle World shit that they already did, that Assad Rebic drew. Just do that. I know they haven't introduced the Molecule Man. I know that'd be kind of hard to do that. You know what I mean? But Reed Richards, okay, you put this movie out with the Fantastic Four, and then just make it a multiversal variant and just get right to that point. Because but at the same time, you're also going to have to introduce the Beyonders and make them known to the masses of how serious they are. So it's like, I don't know how they're going to, I really don't know how they're going to do this.
Because I am thinking like
they
did something a little bit similar with Spider-Man the animated series, where they did their own take on what is it, Secret Wars,
yeah,
and stuff. And like Doctor Doom, he wasn't really like in Spider-Man animated series until those episodes.
The Secret Wars episode.
They could just do that, but yeah, but you know they got to like,
yeah, they could, but I think that just with respect and with all the characters that they have, they just won't do it as simplistic as that.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to, you know what I mean? They still got to make sense of a fucking Celestial hanging out the Indian Ocean.
Right,
But,
and they got like a limited time and all that other stuff too.
Yeah,
so.
they still got to make that as like, y'all want us to care about this. We got a god hanging out of our planet. But anyway,
well, actually, you know what? They're actually going to mention them in Captain America.
They need to, because that is the. If you really think about it, outside of the Snap event, that's single-handedly the biggest event to happen on Earth within the MCU from 2008 to 2018, 2019. If you really think about that, I mean, and then obviously it happened afterwards. But think of all the main events that happened. It always were just within a certain group, a military group, a certain government, whatever like that. We got a god hanging out of the planet, and we ain't covered it at all. I know we've said.
Oh, you're talking about Eternals?
Yeah, Eternals, shit like this. But it's just like, I mean, but it's like every big existential threat that was like monumental, top tier, we took care of, or it happened on a different planet. This one, we still got this guy hanging out, and it's just like no one said nothing about it. Like I said before, I don't want to beat a dead dog. We've mentioned that many times on there, but it's just like I do find it really ironic. Y'all have gone so long and not mentioned that. Like that would be such a huge monumental shift of everyone's mindset as far as religion and everything within the MCU. Like to know that you have a god hanging out of your planet in the middle of the ocean. Why would anyone care about Christianity? Why would Miss Marvel have any care about her fucking Middle East? Maybe I'm thinking into it. Why would Shang-Chi have
get into the religious aspect anyway?
That would be ridiculous.
You know how people are kind of mixed.
Everything. That would reset everything.
But I get what you're saying, but I don't think they're going to go into that, though.
They can't, because that would just be too big. Because it'd just be like, that would reset everything.
All right, so.
But to answer your question, though, because I didn't get to. But to answer your question, I definitely see him. Well, they already said that, but he's going to show up at the end of Fantastic Four. And that'll kind of be the building blocks of him being like in the background, kind of like Thanos, and then we won't see him until Doomsday. Hopefully we get mentions of him doing some things in the background and other TV shows leading up to it, so we'll see. But as far as how he's going to be characterized, if Upward Ninja is listening, yes, he's probably only going to wear his mask once or twice. Because how many times did Wolverine put his mask on? Once, towards the end of the movie. So that's not too far-fetched to say. So as far as Robert Downey Jr., because we've seen Robert Downey Jr. in other movies, him playing Dr. Doom, I don't see him playing the menacing Dr. Doom. I'm sorry, but he's just going to be the eccentric, kind of funny guy, but he'll still be menacing and evil, but he'll still, for the most part, be eccentric and sarcastic. Because that's just how Robert Downey Jr.'s acting is in almost all of his movies.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so I mean, honestly, I could see Doom being like
Touchdown.
when they when they head off to space in this Fantastic Four film. I could see Doom kind of like being dispatched for them, seeing the Victor be somewhere in this movie. So I watched a video online regarding this map here of New York that's going to be the map used in the Fantastic Four movie. And do you think there's any possibility that, considering this is going to be what in the 70s, that this could still 60s? Okay, it's going to be in it's going to be in the 60s. Do you think that this is still going to connect to, since this is New York, to the rest of the MCU characters in the MCU? And like this is just.
I think they're trying to force it, honestly, but I feel like that's very
America,
big though.
Them referencing him since he would have been alive during that time, but albeit an
Well-
alternate reality version.
Or you build it like still like Frozen or something like that.
Yeah,
But he would have because World War II would have happened by then.
it would have happened already, so he would have been referenced in some way.
I don't know how blurry this is, but hold on, I'm just going to bring this up close. So, can you guys see my mouse right here?
Oh yeah, I can see it.
All right, so apparently this Flatiron building is the Daily Bugle.
The Daily Bugle. Sorry.
And then this is this is supposed to be the church that Ben Grimm is at, and then I think Mole Man is going to be over here in the East River. So
I don't think we'll see what's his name. I don't think we'll see J. Jonah Jameson. I don't think that'll be the case.
No. I mean, the Daily Bugle wouldn't have existed yet, but like, I don't know if it could be like an Easter egg or cameo, or do you think this film is going to take like this entire film is going to be in the 60s? Do you think they're going to give us a time jump at all?
Probably towards the end of the movie or the credit scene, we'll get a time jump where they're somehow sucked into like current 2024 or 2025 MCU, and they're kind of lost and wondering like what happened and what did Victor Von Doom, like what did Dr. Doom do to get them there?
Yeah, them bullshit ass sweaters and shit they got on. They look like they're dated.
Yeah, I definitely do feel some type of way about that too. I'm just like, well, because I think it's in an alternate timeline where it is 1960s, but it's like kind of a little bit almost like parallel.
Yeah, it's the first step.
I feel like
it's called.
Yeah, because I feel like they're trying to not only write off that like nostalgia wave, like what Captain Marvel tried doing with the '90s thing, but also like, oh well, the Fantastic Four is Marvel's first family, so there you go.
Yeah.
But I'm just not a fan of it because I'm just like, character wise, that can probably mess somebody up. Like, look at Captain America and stuff. You went from like the 40s all the way up to like 2010, and I'm like, yeah, you would kind of think that would affect somebody, like their friends, their families, and stuff probably are no longer around, and all that. So I'd be like, yeah. So I just don't feel like you can do that with the right. But I'm just like, for the Fantastic Four though, I'm just like, that's a lot to do with them because
Could you guys possibly, or like, is there anything from the past MCU films that you can see Stark Enterprise having any kind of footprint in this film, or like Tony's father or anything like that?
Yeah, I could see maybe Howard Stark references here and there. Hell, I could probably even see a Hank Pym reference, since him and Howard Stark worked around that same time as well too.
They did.
Yeah. Yeah, that is inevitable. They will definitely do that.
Howard. Yeah, I can see it.
Any chance you think we could see a young Nick Fury?
Well, actually, hold on. Let me reverse that. Howard Stark going forward in the comics, or Howard Stark going forward as a prequel type shit in the MCU?
Prequel to the MCU, yes. Referencing the
Well, I doubt that is because remember in Iron Man, when he took the plans from the Stark Expo shit, reinverted on himself. His dad had a a whole recording saying I'm limited by the resources of my time, and so just he wouldn't have been able to produce what we're expecting of him right now to do that. So it wouldn't be Howard Stark, in my opinion. He just in the MCU adaptation, he would just be nothing that he could create in the MCU adaptation would be on par with Iron Man. Because I mean, like I said, in Iron Man 2, he's shown that hey, I can't do this. You have to do that, and Iron Man, apparently following his father's plans, created a new element which allowed his arc reactor to work great. And honestly, in the MCU, that was supposed to be him establishing the new element, vibranium, but they just killed that story and just went with the Black Panther's vibranium. But anyway, I digress.
Okay. Do you think the Fantastic Four is going to make it to Secret Wars? Because I'm starting to think that they'll. Okay.
Yeah, they will.
Okay. You don't think in the Doomsday could we lose any of the members of the Fantastic Four?
No.
Nah,
we're not losing them.
Unless they give somebody the Quicksilver treatment, but nah.
Nope.
Okay.
If you do, then you'll get another one right away on some variant time shit, probably.
Yeah, if anything, they'll just bring back Chris Evans to play Johnny Storm again if they decide to kill off Human Torch.
No, you got Loki in the background that's got the stories. He can interject his ass anytime he wants to. And people are going to be like, oh my God, that's right.
All right, so.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
So. Moving forward, so is anybody in here familiar with the Doomsday story itself?
Which storyline is it from, or which title?
I personally can't make that much of a reference. I'm really calling this out because I'm trying to figure out the direction this Fantastic Four film's going to go and how important it's going to be moving forward, considering that Doomsday is probably going to follow up, and that's probably when we'll actually see Doom.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm like, all right. So what has to happen in this Fantastic Four film for that could give us some Easter eggs or some clarity of what's to happen in Doomsday?
I don't think we'll go ahead and get the traditional bullshit origin stories because I think everyone knows who they are. So you might even start this film off with them already. I take that back. Nope, never mind. I've seen some of the trailer shit.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an origin story again.
It's going to be an origin story.
Maybe not that much time. We could say
maybe not so much time dedicated to the origin, but Galactus is going to be in all that as well. So
I don't think.
I don't know.
Mole Man's being confirmed. There's more than one villain.
Oh, you'd probably be like, well, hate to put down the Mole Man, but he might be a one-off or something.
Yeah, he'll be a joke villain.
Because Ben Grimm has some sort of a crash, and like it looks like there's a bunch of gravel everywhere as well. I don't know if that's him landing back on Earth or however they want to do it.
Yeah.
But
Ben Grimm.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, no. What I was saying earlier was, I think you might be right the first time, Bundle, about they could probably just introduce them already, and they might show like, some like recorded scenes or something like that of like, they had their powers or something like that, or not they had their powers, but before they had their powers, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, like let the scene of who they were before go on. Like while they're also telling the story of present day, you know what I mean? You know how films do. So
that's what
tell like the past story adjacent simultaneously while they're telling what they're going through right now. I could see that, you know what I mean? What they went through in the beginning, what they went through in the beginning, prior years, why they have such dated clothing, why they have such dated, whatever like that, but then simultaneously showing this is where they are now since they've been the Fantastic Four for 20, 30, 40 plus years, however long they want to progress the story. I mean, I can see that happening, but who knows? We haven't got anything that would tell us that that's a fact. So, we're wishful thinking.
Right.
I mean, was it Maul or was it you, SSJ, that said we kind of need like a nice grounded, like superhero story that doesn't like have a bunch of other superheroes in it?
Yeah, we were both talking about that because that's what they're doing with a lot of these movies. Like, for example, we were talking about Spider-Man. They were talking about how they don't want that to be street level. They want that to still have multiverse elements whenever the fourth Spider-Man movie comes out. And then same thing, we had that discussion about the Superman movie. That feels like it's going to be more about everybody else than Superman because it has Justice League characters, Green Lantern, Hawk Girl. So if they just stay grounded and focus on the titular character and build their world up, then sometimes that's all we need. We don't need all this other extra stuff.
So you're doing the extra stuff because you feel like you're doing a fan service justice, and it's just like actually less is more in this situation.
Yeah. Plus, I heard they had Ultraman inside that Superman movie too, so I'm like, oh, so now we're doing Ultraman too.
Okay.
But then I heard, I don't know, maybe he might turn into Bizarro or whatever. I don't know, but
no, they did Bizarro into Doomsday in the CW series.
Yeah, it was terrible. So basically, just like Doomsday from Batman versus Superman.
So they did do a orchestra musical of some of the soundtrack for the Fantastic Four, and each person has like their own kind of theme song. So we could I can confidently say we might get a street level Fantastic Four film, or at least get enough of it in this movie. And then, do you guys trust Feige with the Fantastic Four?
No.
No.
That's a
even
no.
With Deadpool and Wolverine, none of the credit to me even goes to him. That goes to Ryan Reynolds. So we will see what happens with Fantastic Four, though. If he actually lets the director do his thing.
I mean, he doesn't get the credit now, but he still gets the credit from 2008 to 18, which started all of it. So I at least give him that. But now, no.
Yeah, like he had Phase 4 and 5 and everything. I'm like, nah, you ruined it.
Is the bar not that high for this Fantastic Four film because of the original because the original Fantastic Four film?
The bar is incredibly high just
previous
because
films were not good.
It's pretty high.
So
it's crazy high.
There's people that are huge fans of the Fantastic Four and want to see them done right on screen. And
but if it's better,
Fantastic movie, like being a stand on the Fantastic Four, people really want this movie to be good because they're family.
That movie was completely forgettable. Now you're talking about the one from the 2015.
Yeah, with Black Human Torch.
Yeah. Yeah, that was terrible. I'm like, yeah. The only good actor I think was the guy that played as Franklin Storm. Yeah. So rest in peace to him. But yeah.
Oh yeah, Franklin Storm.
Yeah, the guy that like the actor. I think you were about to say his name. I can't remember what it was.
I don't remember his name, but I know he was in Luke Cage. He played Luke Cage's father.
Oh yeah, that's true. He was. Yeah. Yeah, he was good in that. Where he was a good actor, but other than that, everybody was terrible.
A lot of stuff. Yeah, that movie was just butt cheeks. It's like top 10 worst comic book, if not top 5 worst comic book movies ever.
Okay. Yeah, it's up there with Madam Web and Morbius.
Yeah, it's butt cheeks. Butt cheeks. Not as bad as the Dragon Ball movie, but butt cheeks.
Okay, well, I guess with that being said, and then also to add on, do you think they're just going to explain Kane as a deceased? They're just going to say he got defeated by Doom?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And rather than just say, you know what I mean? Just kind of be like, oh yeah, he just got done beating him, and then boom. Instead of actually having Kane in the film,
I feel like there'll be something to do with the TVAs pruned enough timelines to hold Kang's variants back to the point that he was only limited to a certain amount of timelines. And Doom saw to the point of pruning it and getting rid of him. That's what I think. Because they're just like, they basically got, that one end scene is a huge cliffhanger with all those Kings, Immortus, Scarlet Servitor, and fucking Ramatut. Like, to just go ahead and forget that is a big, big deal. So we'll see what happens in Doomsday, man. Maybe he'll get some fucking Molecule Man beyond their powers. But then again, if you're gonna make Doom God Emperor Doom the same way he was in Secret Wars in the Battle World, you have to introduce the Beyonders. Do you think they have enough time to do that within these next few movies?
That's the question that I'm asking
Beyonders
you.
To give the respect that they deserve, the ability to kill the living tribunal, the race of these beings, and now we're just supposed to just say, snap them in the movie, Doom, have their powers. After Doomsday, Secret War, have fun. Like,
it might be quick. It might be something. It might be a quick.
The Beyonders are a Thanos threat times a million.
I mean, and
it took them 10 years to build him up. We're just gonna give him the Beyonders like that, like
because I feel like
I could see them making the Beyonders female.
Oh, they probably just say that. Oh yeah, they're.
It's better just keep him Indian. I said Indian. Oh God, sorry. Keep him alien, but yeah. But they can't make it the original. How he looks, with the big shoulder pads, with the Jerry curl, looking like David. What was the dude from Baywatch? David Hoff.
David Hasselhoff.
Hasselhoff, like looking like that. You know what I mean? From Nighthawk. You can't do that. But the versions that they use, the alien-looking ones, they killed the Living Tribunal in their respective universe. Okay, if you go with them in those type of outfits and shit like that, okay, whatever. But you would have to introduce them as a massive threat and the Molecule Man and destroy. We have an incursion.
Who would be in between, or they're going to have to throw them in there, and they're just going to have to get smashed real quick.
And what incursion do you think that Doctor Strange and Clea went to go fight off at the end of his movie? You create an incursion after that dumbass eye opened. What incursion? Will that have any impact on what Doomsday or whatever happened?
They probably won't even explain that.
They got to explain that because you already got a god hanging out the planet. You got to do something.
Can the
They're not going to explain that yet either. But
possibly
Captain America.
Could the Thunderbolts throw in any of these villainous antagonists in an in credit scene? Like, what movie could give us an inclination of any of this leading to?
None of them. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry. None of them have any sort of level of importance that would impact any of those events that we were just speaking on. Incursions, Celestials hanging out on the planet, cosmic level shit, multiversal traversing, figuring out what it is. Nothing within the Thunderbolts has anything to do with that. It's awesome that they showed I'm Bob. So, okay, what up, Sentry? Okay, you here. But he's just that Superman powerhouse. He still doesn't have any impact on what we have coming
Captain
forward.
America then?
Nah,
Brave New World or New World? What is it called? Brave New World or New World?
I think it's Brave New World. Yeah, it was called New World.
Yeah, Brave New World.
They will be
I believe.
there,
It'll be mentioned
in the trailer as the Adamantium.
I've heard something about that. It's just like it's been there, and it's like they found some way to harvest pieces off of it, and they're going to be the MCU's version of Adamantium, like SSJ just said. Yeah, so I've heard that as a theory, but where's Deadpool and them fitting all this? What they
probably show up in Secret War.
TVA.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna pop in.
And Loki's God of Stories. Right now, is Loki outside of the Celestials the strongest thing that we've seen? He's got everyone's timeline in his hand. I want this to happen. I want that to happen. I want that. I mean, anything can happen.
And then, okay, I mean, you got that. And when's the next time you guys think we're going to see Thor?
Is what if can
probably in Secret War as well. My theory is Loki is probably going to do some kind of damage to Deadpool because he might run into him, and that's why Thor is crying.
Why was Thor crying? Here we go.
Yep,
oh yeah, he's about
So you could clip that, and then we can come back to it if I'm right.
Hell yeah. Do a mall video like you did with the boys with me. Yeah, do a mall video.
Okay.
Maul's mind matters. Doom, doom, doom.
Okay, I got you. Well, I mean, it sounds like It sounds like we got the Fantastic Four.
Oh,
You
shit.
said there's no future events. Y'all can't think of any other ways that they're going to get us to the point of getting to Doomsday from any of the other MCU films.
No.
At least
I just think they're just gonna
4
throw
end
everything
credit
together.
scene might connect.
I'm just gonna throw some things together because, like I said, like Art said before, the characters necessary to create the Secret War atmosphere for what has to happen. An incursion, yes, has to happen with the Ultimates, which we are seeing the aftermath of that. But we would need the introduction of the impact of how serious the Beyonders are. You need the Molecule Man to be there. Dr. Doom already has to be established because I mean, when that happens, the last 3 people alive is Owen Reese's, Molecule Man, Dr. Doom, and is it Doctor Strange? I think it's the last 3 people before Secret Wars to happen. It's them 3, and at least that's what I think it is. So it's just like you only really established one of those people within the MCU. So I don't think any of the comic books of what we're seeing right now is going to truly impact the MCU. I think they're going to take aspects of it, but you would need to have too many characters.
Any death,
years.
Any death that has to happen.
You would need years of groundwork for the characters necessary for the comic adaptation to happen. So they're gonna adapt it, but they're not gonna use Molecule Man. They're not gonna use Beyonders, I don't think. Long story short.
Yeah, it's gonna be rushed because look at all the other products that they have coming out up to that point too.
Yeah.
Most
And it really feels like they're kind of just racing around to get to like a reboot, pretty much.
They are, but you can't rush those characters. I mean, just.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing, but this is Marvel we're talking
about.
Yeah. When was the last time you've seen them take their
They're about to do that CW, Christ on Earth's route.
Because I can't think of any of the TV shows that are going to give us a hint or taste of what's to come. Because I mean, you got Agatha and Daredevil. I just don't see that.
Agatha. Why is
Agatha
that
might be the
even a
closest.
project? Man, they better establish something great there, man. I mean, why is that a project?
We're not going to get another season of Loki.
Y'all would have to watch Agatha.
You could have said fuck Agatha and Echo and gave us Loki season 3.
Exactly.
You could have did that. That's actually worth it, damn. Echo and Agatha's story doesn't progress anything, in my opinion. I mean, after Echo,
unless we're about to
Echo didn't progress anything. Hawkeye's story progressed more than that. It didn't give us. It's just like, okay, it was more of a representation.
Did Shang-Chi get canceled for its sequel, or is that still coming?
It's still coming out.
It's still coming.
Oh.
I can't think of anything either, unless another.
What they're gonna do with Shang-Chi.
I think Shang-Chi too is supposed to have multiverse elements in it.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
Here we go.
So that ain't gonna be no good.
Here we go.
All right. I mean, at this point, that's where. All right. That's our coverage of what's to come. We've covered the Ultimates.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move on to this Joker 2 pre-thoughts.
Okay.
So I was debating with Bundle earlier, and I particularly think that this Joker film is going to lighten up the darkness that's been surrounding DC, and in comics and in film.
It's supposed to. It's a rated R Joker movie, and it's supposed to lighten up.
When I say lighten up, when I say lighten up, I'm referring to like accepting
I just
DC.
did the same thing as Bundle did too.
Like when I say lighten up,
rated R Joker.
DC has a huge negative like a presence right now in film,
that was
comic, and everything.
So dark. You sure you're not from the DC universe? It's supposed to be that way.
Well, when I say dark, I'm more so meaning negative. I'm saying people very negative. Yeah, that's what I meant. When I said light, I'm like positivity. So like people are negatively looking at the this DC period right now. Do you think this film could change that?
No.
No.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No.
Especially after that first movie. A
lot of people like the first movie.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to be good. Well, the first movie was good or it was interesting. Like
I got a point, but y'all go ahead. I got a point. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean,
go ahead, Johnny.
Oh no, I mean, I don't got much to say.
Johnny, go ahead. Go ahead, Johnny.
All right, I'll go. So, I mean, the first movie, it was pretty good and stuff. Don't get me wrong, and it definitely made like $1 billion.
It was $1 billion movie, yeah. It was great, yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, I'm not saying like, oh, a sequel can't work, but it's just like, how do I put this?
Musical.
Hold on. Yeah, that's kind of one of the things that kind of turned me off. I was like, all right, so now it's going to be a musical. Nicki Minaj is going to be Harley Quinn. But when I saw the trailers and stuff, I was like,
Lady Gaga. Gaga.
You mean Lady
Gaga? Not Nicki Minaj.
He said
Lady
Gaga. Ass off your mind. Get that ass off your mind, Johnny.
But nah, what was I saying? Yeah, so second movie, I mean, yeah, it's promising, but I'm just like, I don't know, for me, personally.
I just slightly want to interrupt you and say that small.
What if Nicki Minaj was Harley Quinn?
The small dance segment that was in the original Joker got a whole bunch of attention and nominations.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And so it's really for the awards. I don't think the entire movie is going to be a musical, but there's going to have moments. They're going to have those moments implemented.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, at first I was just turned off from the premise before like the trailers and all that stuff came out. I was like, yeah, the first movie was great, and it was better off as like a one-off or like a one and done kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But because it's just kind of weird to kind of have an Elseworld kind of thing, and this isn't like connected to any of the other DC stuff, you know?
I agree.
How I felt about Joker is pretty much how I felt about Gotham. Pretty much stupid and unnecessary. Because you have a Joker. You have Joker with his little origin story, which doesn't feel like Joker. And me personally, I don't think Joker needs an origin story. You don't have to delve deep into that. If you wanted to get like a Joker movie, you could have just delved deep into his sessions with Harley Quinn when they met each other and she was the psychiatrist. But you didn't have to do what they did in this movie.
Harley Quinzel, thank you.
Him being afraid to kill people and then like that stuff was just stupid to me. And then we had a kid, Bruce Wayne. So what? When Bruce Wayne grows up, this Joker's gonna be in a wheelchair. Like, nah, I'm good off of that. And then just like what Jonas said, when we found out it was gonna be a musical, why? Because Lady Gaga can sing, we gotta make it a musical. Like,
you feel me?
So this is not gonna save DC. As much as it made money and people liked it, there's a lot of people I know that have the same opinion as me. And the people that actually did like it are mostly just casual.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the first movie was all right, but it just didn't feel like a Joker kind of movie. You know, it was like, because we already know it was kind of like used as like a mental health kind of thing or whatever, or mental kind of illness.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah. So that's what it was like. It kind of was, but it was interesting though. It was just not really. Just doesn't scream Joker though.
I didn't find it interesting at all.
This wasn't the Joker that we found. This isn't the
his
Joker
makeup
that we love.
Terrible. Like, what was up with his makeup on his face?
It looks like
all that was not
circus clown.
He looked like a damn circus clown. That was not the Prince of Gotham City Joker. That was just a damn clown. So,
or if they really wanted to do like a Joker kind of thing, they could have done like a live action kind of Killing Joke, where they covered Joker's like sort of kind of backstory a little bit, where he's just some random guy who was a failed comedian, etc. Pregnant wife died or whatever.
They tried to do that though.
Yeah,
Red Hood, like a loosely based adaptation, but without Red Hood.
Yeah, so they can do something like that or whatever. But that's just me.
Okay, so you guys are you gonna? Well, you know what, Bundle. What was you going to say? What was you going to conclude about your thoughts towards this Joker film?
Those most of it. Just it's just I don't doubt the significance. I won't say significance because I don't think the significance is there. I don't doubt the popularity of what it was. I mean, the movie prior was $1 billion movie, obviously, but it's not for comic book fans. This is not the Joker we love. It's not the Joker we fell in love with. It's not the crime prince of Gotham. You know what I mean? This is not him. This is not the I mean, the laugh. Okay, fine, but you got not the right suit on. Fuck your green hair. You got clown makeup on. Now you're in a musical with Gaga, and the time period is all wrong for Gotham. It's just.
And he's like very sympathetic and all.
It's just like I appreciate because he is outside of Darth Vader and Doctor Doom, probably the most recognizable villain in all pop culture history. You know what I mean? So we will respect and eat up anything that has the Joker's name on it. But this ain't the Joker that we fell in love with.
That's pretty much what it was.
This ain't it. This ain't
Joker. It had Joker's name on it.
Yeah, it ate up because that's all it was. But this ain't our Joker. So a lot of people look at me and it's like, you ain't watched this, you ain't do this. And it's like, yeah, but that ain't my Joker.
And then most people was like, is Joaquin Phoenix or Heath Ledger? Which one was the better Joker? And all
Are you fucking kidding me?
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger.
I mean, I know it's Heath Ledger. I'm just saying, like, yeah, you know, at the time.
I thought he did a very good job for the role that they asked him to do. His acting was on par, but this script, again, isn't connected.
It wasn't necessarily even the script.
But he's a good actor. I felt like he was a good actor for what he was.
Yeah, I agree. He's a good actor, but it's just that it's just, you know, like we was given all that stuff, and I'm just like, you know. That's what people were just asking.
If the script were different, if they had actually written, if his aesthetics, if they written a script for him to be a part of the DCU, would you guys accept him to be Joker?
Huh.
Yeah, because
physically with the aesthetics.
Yeah, because I've seen good concept art of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker looking just like the actual Joker we know, similar to the Heath Ledger with the long hair. But for whatever reason, they went left and gave us a clown.
They go ahead and change his makeup up. Yeah.
Y'all accept him to actually hold the man down the Joker.
It changes makeup up. The only thing is, it's going to be awkward is the time period of which his film is filmed in. It's just like, so if you bring him, you would bring him up to speed. Like he said before, this Joker's going to be in a wheelchair. You're going to get Arkham Joker that's dying. You know what I mean? That's what you're gonna get. Yeah, that's what you're gonna get.
Although I think, well, I could be wrong, but I mean, because we don't know how old the Joker is specifically, but I thought he was like at least over 10 years apart from Batman or something.
Yeah, I would respect that. Yeah.
I always thought they were close in age.
I thought they were. I thought they were, but I would respect a 10-year difference. I wouldn't be mad at it.
Batman's 25, Joker is probably like 30 or 30.
Yeah, I'm with you on
because usually in the stuff I see, I just think, but Joker is usually shown to be a little bit older than Batman. But
my God, what a catch! I'm sorry, it's just a Thursday night football game.
My bad. Really saw him as that much older than Batman. Like, I don't think it makes sense to have a Joker in his late 20s, 30s, and then Bruce Wayne is like 8 or 9.
I didn't know this camera wasn't on. My bad. I'll be right back. Hold on, I gotta see that.
That to me is what makes the least amount of sense to me. Joker in his 30s, late 20s, or older than that, but then Bruce Wayne's 9 or 10, like 8 or 9. That's stupid.
Kind of like in the the Tim Burton movies and stuff, because you know Joker killed Batman's parents in there. So he had to have been like at least 8 or something like that, or 9.
That was different though, because they weren't going with comic accuracy. They were.
You see that catch?
Like a Jack Napier
yeah, they were.
Character.
Well, I mean, this would have to be a brand new DCU because they killed everything off that they've done in the past with all this recasting. So, this is gonna stand alone. Well, I guess this film is just to be enjoyed for its moment. And SSJ, sounds like you said this is going to entertain casuals, but for regular fans, they're not going to gravitate towards this film and like think any different about the upcoming DCU.
Yeah, only if you have like a short attention span, or if you're not if you don't read the comics like that and you like stuff like mental health and things like that, then that's probably what that's gonna those are the fans that it's gonna latch on to.
It's
not gonna latch on to people that actually read the comics and know Joker.
So, I guess to rephrase the question to get a different opinion, could a casual see this and not know any better than know that there's a difference? Could it gravitate them towards any future DCU films?
Like this movie? Being like spun off or something from like
not like a spin-off, not like this will be connected to the basically like I like this Joker franchise, maybe I want to read a comic, maybe I want to see the next Superman movie, even though it's not a connection. Do you think this is do you think people are gonna like help with merchandising and the upsell of DC?
Well,
it's possible.
It's possible.
I can't say for sure, but it's not, but it's possible.
Yeah. Like, especially if they have something that like really stands out or something like, because I mean, you already got people like Comic Cons anyways that likes to cosplay as Joker or Harley Quinn, so yeah.
All right. Let's see here. How do you guys feel about Josh Brolin playing Hal Jordan as Green Lantern?
Oh yeah, like I mean, I don't got a major opinion except for like James Gunn just makes himself look more like a hypocrite because he kind of got rid of Henry Cavill.
He threw it behind him
because he was like, he's 41, he's too old, and I'm like, but you got some older people to do all that.
Why did he throw it?
Yeah, and plus David Cornsweet looks like a discount Henry Cavill to me. So it's like we could have had Henry Cavill to me could have played Superman at least for the next 10 years going into Kingdom Come if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like. Because, I mean, Henry Cavill, he really does got like a draw. I was like arguing with this one dude or whatever last week about it, and he was like, well, Henry Cavill is not much of a draw. I'm like, all right, look. Henry Cavill, he's a good Superman. Fans respect him. He respects the fans. The ladies, they love him. Because I'm like, you know, you got the arms and stuff and all that other stuff that Anna, that Star Wars girl, you be talking them up and all that stuff. Like, I'm like, okay. So he's got the appeal and all that other stuff. So I'm like, why would you get rid of him in favor of David Cornsweet? Which I'm like, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's all right, I guess, but he's playing compared to Henry Cavill.
He's a discount Henry Cavill. Like, pull up a picture of Henry Cavill and David Cornsweet. Like, it's like night and day.
Oh yeah, and did you guys see that like that wig that David Cornsweet had on as Clark Kent?
Oh no, you said what's the name of the actor that's playing Superman now?
David Cornsweet. Cornsweet. Yeah.
I put in, so as soon as I put in David, like it showed up. Cornsweet. Cornsweet. First. Henry Cavill side by side. That's a small ass thing just to get a better maybe it's the bigger image. These are all small images. I'm just going to show this tab now. 1 second. It's Google tab. I don't like this guy, y'all.
Oh, you seen him before?
Yeah, me neither.
Those images I've seen of the suit, I'm not even crazy about the suit.
Yeah, the suit, that looks lame. I mean, at least with it's definitely the lines in my opinion and that logo. And then the suit just doesn't really it's not tight enough. It looks like it's got creases and all that or whatever.
But the irony behind this is all those guys that were in love with Christopher Reeves. You get his suit now. That's a Christopher Reeve suit that man has on. Dang near.
Well, I didn't hate the Christopher Reeve suit though. I mean, because but yeah.
Okay, so to go back to what I was saying, would you guys accept Josh Brolin if we get two Green Lanterns and Josh Brolin kind of like hands the mantle of the lantern to Jon Stewart?
No.
I still don't.
No.
I still don't feel like it doesn't. Yeah, the casting doesn't work though.
He's too old.
Too mature he can't just be a mature lantern?
No, because Hal
No,
Jordan.
I mean,
when I think of Hal Jordan, I think of a handsome, tall white dude in his late to mid 20s or 30s. I don't think of some old ass white dude that with a deep voice.
not to mention, Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, they were actually roommates at one point.
Yeah, so it wouldn't make sense for a real old Hal Jordan to pass the mantle to the Jon Stewart when they were like, just like what Jonas said, it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah. I mean, they can all like kind of just be Green Lanterns and stuff and just deal with like different, situations or whatever. But
he said himself that he's like, I think I'm a little too old. So
yeah, I hope he says no and sits himself down, let somebody else take the role.
Yeah, he could probably play Alan Scott or something, but not no Howard Jordan.
Honestly, I think Josh Brolin is kind of one note. Like, if you listen to his Cable, why does his Cable sound so much like Thanos? And then if you watch that movie Wind River he did with, what's her face, Elizabeth Olsen, Scarlet Witch, he sounds just like Thanos in that movie too.
Huh?
Wow.
And Cable was kind of supposed to be like an old. Well, he's not that old, but he's like, well, at least 50s or something. Like that's appropriate for him, but not no Howard Jordan.
Yeah, not no Hal Jordan.
I mean, I guess they're still trying to move in a direction to give us some Green Lantern, so hopefully they cast somebody.
We just need a proper Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart.
I'm not gonna lie to you though. I mean, I think SSJ, you might disagree with me here, but I mean, I wasn't completely against like Ryan Reynolds when he played as Howard Jordan.
Oh, that's crazy. He was terrible as Green Lantern.
So
I thought he was all right, and the movie was all right.
He was horrible.
Well, see, I haven't read that many Green Lantern comics. I remember there was a cartoon that came out back in the day, and he wasn't as comical, but he kind of could look like him. But the biggest thing is they really couldn't afford to give us a Green Lantern film. They really didn't have the superhero formula for film down. So
it could have been better if they had better directing and
exactly,
a better budget and a better lead, because Ryan Reynolds wasn't in it. But the guy who played Sinestro was good though.
Yeah, because the whole them showing the Lantern Corps and them going into space, that stuff was really cool. But like, I mean, we just didn't get it. We didn't get enough of Lantern in that, and really, the only successes at that particular time that we were getting from them. I can't hear you, Bundle, if you're talking to us. Blade and Spider-Man were probably the only successes that we got because Batman was like held off from like being horribly perceived from that George Clooney Batman.
Yeah. Right.
And and if I'm not mistaken, that was also that Green Lantern was before we got Christian Bale.
Okay.
Christian Bale came out before Green Lantern because Christian Bale's Batman Begins came out in 2005. Green Lantern came out in 2011.
Oh dang!
Yeah.
Okay. My fault.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're good. What was I gonna say? But no, I mean, the only problem I had really looking back on like the old Green Lantern movie is mostly like Parallax, that they used Parallax, and then in the end they kind of killed him off by having him fly into the sun. I'm like, nah, that's too big of a character to kind of use, especially for a first movie. So they should have continued to just keep using Hector Hamid or whatever as like Green Lantern's main villain throughout that movie, and then they could have had Sinestro for like the sequel or something.
Yeah. See, now that Jonah, I can agree with.
Yeah. More than that, I mean, yeah. I thought the movie was all right.
They should, because if I'm not just last year in May, Green Lantern was the upsell for DC's comics, so the fan base is there.
Yeah, they're there.
Yeah, I've been hearing the Green Lantern comics. They've been consistently kind of good. Well, except for I think what they did with someone with Jeffrey Thorne or whatever. But other than that, I mean, yeah.
Okay. Bundle, you got a shock look on your face, Bundle.
Surprised you remember the name and the writer of such a bad story.
Yeah. No, I mean, I remember he was talking a lot of trash a couple years ago about, he's like, I hate Hal Jordan and all this other stuff. And he's like, Hal Jordan sucks. And I'm like, you writing Green Lantern? And he's like, yeah, but I like John Stewart better. And all. I'm like, okay.
Like, what a cynical mindset to come in. But what, all right. I'm going to. Yeah, I feel you.
Right.
I don't get the people that hate Hal Jordan. I think it's because of that Justice League cartoon. Like, John Stewart is cool, but don't disrespect Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
Who do you think is the most hated Lantern?
Probably Guy Gardner.
There we go. Hey, at least I was like, if you don't put Guy Gardner. Yeah, Guy Gardner out there.
Maybe Kyle Rayner. Who knows? Well, Guy Gardner is definitely most hated. But
Guy Gardner is probably it, but Kyle Rayner's cool. But I mean, he got humbled. What comic was that when Sinestro had him tied up and ripped apart in space?
Injustice.
There we go. So he got humble. He got some humble pie there because when they made Kyle Rayner the White Lantern before Hal Jordan or John Stewart, people were like, "Who is this guy?" But
yeah, because Kyle Rayner, he was like the '90s Green Lantern. Like the reason why some people probably hate Hal Jordan is most likely because he's like he became Parallax, or he was Parallax, and he did all that crazy stuff back in the '90s where he killed all those other Green Lanterns in the Green Lantern Corps. So that could also be something too.
Yeah. Who didn't like the story? I feel that.
I just hear.
You think they hated that more, or
they
the
like
Parallax? No, the Green Lantern and Parallax story was great. Never mind.
So, I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't even know. I was really young. I didn't even know about John Stewart until I watched the cartoon series. Like I've always like beforehand. I mean, that was the Justice League series. Like I told y'all before, there was like a Green Lantern cartoon back in the day with Hal that was pretty darn cool. That like Flash and Green Lantern had their own comic, and the toys was pretty awesome too.
Yeah, they did team up a lot.
You done?
So I mean, these are some nominations to help to possibly save the DCU. I would have rather gotten Green Lantern than getting another reboot of Superman. I feel like Superman has been like Superman and Batman's been DC's fallback plan for when things go left so many times. Giving us something new could spark something.
That's where I kind of disagree with the Batman part, at least, because ever since 2005 we had a Batman. It was like a Batman ban where they didn't put him in a lot of cartoons because of the movies that were coming out. And even after those movies coming out, they still had that in effect where they didn't want him in CW because that show, Arrow, was actually supposed to be a Batman show. But then they turned it into Arrow. And that's why he was so based on Batman and fought a lot of Batman villains. Ra's al Ghul, season 3, Talia al Ghul showing up, him being trained by Ra's and Talia. Like, that was supposed to be a Batman show. And then when we finally get Batwoman, we had an actor that was cast to play Batman, but they never had him do any roles because they didn't want Batman to be in the show because of like movie rights or whatever, because he was going to be in a movie. And that was during the time Ben Affleck was supposed to get his Batman movie that was up in the air for like 2 years until they canceled it. So I feel like we don't get enough Batman. And when was the last time we got a Batman TV show? The 60s.
Hey.
We're not gonna count Gotham.
No, Gotham doesn't count. Gotham doesn't count. But I want a Batman show. I want a straight up Batman show where it's focused on him doing the detective work, solving the crimes, and give us all of his villains.
Holiday came in, no trigger, straight slamming hammers.
Yeah, we don't need the derivatives. Remember, we had that terrible Gotham Knights TV show where they killed off Batman in the first episode.
Yeah, that was the last.
Why do we have to kill off Batman in every show that we have?
So hey, that's crazy.
Because they'd be hating on Batman.
So
they'd be like, because they don't like the little rich white man kind of thing.
Which is stupid. So to answer your question, Jay Leno, we at least need Batman because Batman is The Godfather.
I'm with it. You know what? I'm with it. Y'all know how I rock anyway. So
how you
now
feel
Superman,
about?
I don't care.
How you feel about Batman's new
Superman,
look and the new absolute power?
I would
shit?
actually stand
Like
on
big,
Superman,
thick
though.
boy. You see his new
I
look
stopped
and-
caring about Superman after they got rid of Henry
Hold on, you
Cavill,
said-
so I can care less about what they do with Superman.
You said Batman's got a new look.
Yeah, and absolute power. The new,
Yeah, I
new
did see
that
how
was
he
terrible.
looked.
That was-
but the bat
that was
bat
terrible.
symbol is kind of like this. It's a weird bat symbol, but he's got this armor on. But he's a Batman that lips. He's diesel, bro. He's huge as fuck. They just been calling him thick boy online. Bro.
Yeah, he is.
But he's huge.
Are you talking about
He's a
I feel like that's
bruiser.
based off of
Redesigned
Frank Miller's
Super-
Batman.
Super
Especially even the
Batman?
logo, too.
So do y'all agree or disagree with what I said about Batman? I feel like we need Batman in something. Even the
I
Kid
agree.
Crusader
I'm-
show is not
I'm
about
He's a
it.
part of the Trinity, though. So, I mean,
Batman
yeah, he is a necessity.
DC. DC is Batman. If you think of the greatest events or the greatest comics written about DC, if you name 10 of them, 8 or 7 of the 10 are going to be Batman based. And whether you like darkest, like DC, Dark Knight's Metal, Death Metal, even the medieval one they had, the one with Insomnia, where the Nightmares, obviously Nightmares spelled with the K. You know what I mean, even though Injustice is about Superman, but it's still Batman secondary as well. I mean, the biggest stories honestly have Batman focal point, and even the ones that shock you the most. Deceased, the first opening 2 pages is Batman dying, and Batman and Robin and Alfred killing them and shit like that, and then Batman Damian is the one that saves it at the end. Blah blah blah. But it's just like you can't have DC without Batman. You can't. It all runs through Batman. The best stories are Batman.
Well,
I mean,
I wasn't-
DC Comics is Detective Comics. They started off with AC and DC. Superman
Well,
couldn't cut it. As
I didn't
Action
say
Comics.
not
DC
use
did.
them. I, if I'm not mistaken, I specifically said instead of starting off with them again and like not doing the same formula, start us with somebody else and then throw these guys in there. A lot of these guys would be missed, or it's getting cliche at this point.
I mean, they've done
that's
it.
my
They've done
belief.
it in the past. I mean, Alex
And
Ross.
I was
Alex
thinking, like,
Ross
honestly,
penned
versus,
The
like-
Kingdom Come, which was a great story. But anyway, that's really Superman versus Shazam. But what were you saying, John?
Oh, no, I was going to say, I mean, honestly, like, I would rather than, like, instead of always keep going, like, because this is why I'm like the Robert Pattinson movie. There's a lot of reasons why that movie was just bad, but I'm just like, instead of just keep aging down Batman to be, like, new and experienced, I'm like, why not just have him in his prime already, where he's at least middle age and you can, like, introduce more of his, like, sidekicks and his partners and stuff, because most of them hardly ever really get any, like, spotlight like that, if I'm going to
Scott
be honest.
Atkinson.
Wait, did you not see Gotham Knights, where all his sidekicks got screen time and then play the Gotham Knights video game? I feel like his screen
Wait, you're talking
is...
about,
Other
I feel
game.
like
I mean,
we don't
yeah.
need any of Batman's sidekicks at this point in time. You got to build up to it. Like, we shouldn't just be thrown into a 30, 40-year-old Batman and then just have random sidekicks take over his story. I think that
I
would be
mean, we kind of
horrible.
had, like,
Well, okay.
we kind of had, like, Batman the Animated Series and stuff, where, like, that Batman,
Yeah,
he
but
was
that
kind
was
of
like
around, like,
the new animated adventures.
Well, Jonan, would you like
Yeah.
would you be interested in a strong Teen Titans like intro into
a strong,
And plus, those
You said a strong
episodes weren't good
Teen
either.
because I've asked SSJ this, but I don't know, Jonan, if you gave us an answer on if they did a Raven and if they use Raven to implement the Teen Titans and everybody else instead of just going with Robin. You can throw in Trigon. Trigon could go up against an experienced Justice League.
I actually do remember your idea. I didn't want to, like, think over it too much, but I feel like it is best used as, like, what if you did, like, a Teen Titans kind of movie trilogy and stuff, like, because I mean, I got nothing against Raven, but I'm just saying, what if you made, like, Raven, she can probably be, like, the focus or something, because I think in New Titans, she was the one that kind of, like, approached Dick Grayson in his dreams or something, and then, like, made him get, like, the Teen Titans and stuff back together. So I was thinking, like, what if she did that, brought, like, them together to, like, face down Trigon eventually, but they fight, like, alien invasions and all that stuff, maybe Blackfire, and then eventually they get to, like, Trigon.
And this generation grew up with the Titans.
They
Yeah.
did, but they're not crying for that stuff to come out anytime soon, though.
Yeah, they're not.
I don't think they're crying
Or at
for
least, like-
Raven or anything like that. And plus, I think we discussed, like, Raven's cool and all, but she's not that interesting enough to carry her own film, in my opinion. And plus, she doesn't have villains like that besides her own father, Trigun.
Could it be a dramatic? Could it be more of like a
She's a
tragic?
powerhouse. She's strong as shit, but she
Okay,
doesn't have
but-
She
any
is,
villains,
yeah.
so.
But with how dark her family is and all the drama and tragedy that comes with it, it could be a different tone into film that we're used to. It may not be the action pack that you're asking for. It might just be like a dark ass Cinderella story with virtual
Yeah,
magic.
because you were saying it was like it could be like a horror, and yeah, it can definitely work.
Yeah.
You could probably throw in some like maybe some other type of like characters that are like within that realm, like
So like that action
maybe
that you're
John
looking
Constantine
for,
or
it might be towards those villains, or again, who knows? Robin could have those moments in there as well. It wouldn't, like I said, it wouldn't be more. It'd be more. It could possibly be more theatrical and emotional than an action superhero, but still have such.
yeah, like a deep dive or something.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's something DC needs right now.
I don't think it is either. I'm with you
And
there.
plus, did you
That's
see the Titans show? The Titans show was god awful, except for
We got it.
Deathstroke.
Yeah, that was
I heard
Alright, then
Deathstroke.
it had a couple episodes that was interesting, but it had some dry moments that didn't make sense.
I think with respect,
I'm not gonna lie.
Just, my bad. Go ahead, Johnny.
I mean, I was gonna say I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the show to me it's entertaining, but it's not good. Like I'm like, yeah, writing wise it sucks, but I'm just like, it's fun to watch though.
To me, the only fun thing to watch is see Deathstroke kill people, because that's the most comic accurate Deathstroke we've gotten in live action. So that's the
I
only
like
redeeming
Nightwing
thing
fighting.
about Titan.
Yeah,
I was glad that Beast Boy
Yeah, see,
could only
that's
turn
a
into
new
a
comic book.
certain amount of people. I feel like they didn't have enough of a budget to really give us the Beast Boy and the what's the old chick, Starlight? Not Starlight. What's her name?
Starfire.
Starfire. They
I don't
Yeah.
know why they cast
have
her to
enough to
play
give it-
Starfire.
I was about, yeah,
She
that
was just
too.
awful.
They
That was
just didn't
so
have enough
weird.
to give us the true Starfire out of the movie. So
I was like, you
cast
guys
super
have-
dark
well,
Yeah,
black
they went
woman
there
to
and
play
did too
Starfire.
much on that. It was like,
Like-
all you needed to do is just go ahead, get Zendaya and throw some green contacts.
Yeah,
in her eye.
Zendaya would have been perfect.
That's all you
as
need to have
Starfire.
to do. Just get Zendaya and throw some green contacts in her eyes. That's all you need to do, and then easy. Just like, but you want to go ahead. You deserve a chance. You deserve. This is my interpretation of, and then you piss the people off that actually are the ones that spend the money on it, that actually give a fuck about it, and then the ones that complain about it are just the ones on the outside, are just let me be inclusive. Just, I ain't gonna go there. But anyway, just
Yeah.
give the
I
people
mean,
what
they
they
didn't really have
want.
much time for
goddamn
the
it.
makeup either. But yeah,
What they want.
Yeah, they
So
should have
it's
cast somebody brown, like light brown skin to
Like a,
play,
like-
or
That's what it
tan
is.
skin to play.
And if you say that, then you a colorist. And it's like, no, I'm not. I'm just a purist to the fucking character. And the character look
Yeah.
like the character. Shit. Like, goddamn. There's billions of people
Like,
on this
they weren't
planet.
trying
You
to
didn't
at that
have to
point.
pick her. Shit. Like, you know how many mulatto-looking girls are out right there? Like, go pick one and put some green contacts in.
And then the
Shit,
fact that
like-
they casted Blackfire with a black woman, not because of the fact that Starfire is black, they only casted her because her name is Blackfire.
Yeah, I'm just like...
actually, and the whole Tamaranian thing really felt like that was just intergalactic Wakanda.
That's
really-
her
That's all it
name.
was.
That's
how I felt
her
about
name. First off, holy fuck.
Good
that's
shit, Johnny.
funny.
Good shit.
First off,
Good
that's funny.
shit.
But no, but that's her name. 3 days ago, we were talking about all the different races, and we got, I couldn't name 10 as far as DC. I got the Zarnians with Lobo, and I couldn't think of what Starfire's was off the top of my head. Tamaranian.
Coriander.
Yeah,
God.
Tamaranians, yeah.
I couldn't think that was the only one, because I got Marvels, and they were just like, okay, name 10 in DC. I got 9 out of 10, and Zarnian was the last one with Lobo, and I couldn't think of what Starfire was. You just said that, so
Oh,
I know that
Tim.
was random, but 72 hours ago, that had just won me $10. God damn
You got, damn.
it. Anyway, sorry.
No, you're good.
Tamaranian.
But yeah.
That was the name.
But yeah, that's what it felt like. Honestly, I'm just like, wow, really? We're just casting all black people to play as aliens?
I know.
Yeah,
They did that. Do they do in the CW? What was it? The Monitor.
Yeah, they casted some
the
black dude to play the
Anti-Monitor.
Monitor and
Is it
Anti-Monitor.
Uvo Nixon? Yeah, what was his name?
Well, I'm just, look. The premise of this segment is ways to help DC get on its feet or get in a better position. So, like, you guys got. Do you
All
guys?
right, well, I was looking forward to this one.
Well, you already
this
know
one.
how I feel about DC.
DC Comics aren't bad, but the cinematic universe is in a bad state because, like I said, Absolute Power is a decent story right now. They put out the Dark Knights of Steel, the medieval story that came out earlier last year and the beginning of this year, and now they have a part 2 to that called All Father or All Winter, and it starts off featuring basically the same Dark Knights of Steel storyline, just part 3. And it's following Slade Wilson's Deathstroke as a Viking gladiator, like that holds a similar axe to like Kratos has. It's sick. It just came out. You should see it. But that, and I forget the other name of their most recent comic book. I forget what it is. I mean, it's not shocking the world what they're doing right now. Marvel, obviously, MCU is killing it. Them bringing in the whole Marvel. Predator versus Wolverine, now Predator versus Black Panther, now Avengers versus Alien. Obviously, that's hot shit. But Absolute Power and this new Dark something to Steel, it's popping. So their comic books aren't looking bad, but the merchandising and the cinematic universe, yeah, they need some help.
Yeah.
The video games too.
Yeah, that's why.
That's
why I really want to. That's
butt.
why I really want to improve.
Gotham Knights was butt, and Suicide Squad.
Yeah, Gotham Knights was
even
terrible.
though they had Rocksteady behind it, it was. And the thing is, actually, the gameplay isn't bad.
Though
but
I did not like the story.
The story is so bad, and the fact that they did Kevin Conroy's Batman the way that they.
Are you talking about Suicide Squad Killing the Justice League?
The game,
that
one
terrible.
Dude, that one cutscene like deterred probably about $300,000 worth of 300,000 sales. That one cutscene probably turned off about 300,000+ people buying the game. I'm not even gonna lie. That cutscene pissed me off. We even talked about that when that happened. Yeah. We had a whole 30-minute conversation when that happened. Was that like a few months ago?
Yeah.
And like
the
game looked good. Like a few of us were actually gonna get it. We saw that no one got it, bro. No one in here got it. I pre-ordered the game, bro, and still haven't played it, bro. I pre-ordered the game thinking people were gonna play it in this Discord. We saw that cutscene. No one got it. That game is still in my game store unplayed. It's hilarious.
That turned into an immediate pool and fire.
I was just like, you let Harley Quinn shoot Kevin Conroy's Arkham. The Arkham.
I was about to say the Arkham
Batman. That trilogy game. That Arkham. And shoot him on a bench. I'm about to beat somebody's ass right now. Hold on.
Yeah, I made a video about that.
If I'm about to beat somebody. I'm like, people that Batman can easily beat.
I swear to God. Anyway, but the game actually, outside of that, the game actually wasn't bad. The cutscenes are actually kind of solid. And the gameplay is repeatable because it's a Rocksteady game. It was the Arkham Origins fighting, mechanics. So it's not bad. It turned so many people off. It wasn't like
Arkham Origins.
It wasn't like
Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, it was. And I remember we had a conversation about it, and I was just like, I love Sunset Overdrive. You're like, but it ain't supposed to be in comics. I was like, man, we had that conversation because me and Jet was defending it because we love Sunset Overdrive. That was our shit. He was just like, yeah, but that ain't supposed to be Batman, motherfucker. Get out of here. And I was like, all right, I feel you.
Not to mention, they really disrespected a lot of the heroes on what you call it, too.
They did. And I really hope that Gotham Knights was going to be it. But Gotham Knights released with so many bugs, so many issues. And actually, on Xbox, which I was playing on, it was almost unplayable. But for PlayStation, Steam, and PC, it released pretty cool, but for some reason for 2 weeks straight it had issues, graphical issues and gameplay issues on the Xbox, which delayed my purchase on it. And then once I seen the overall arcing review of it, I said no, because that was a big thing with me, Jeff, and Parker, because I said no, I wasn't going to get the Avengers. I was like, the Avengers game looks good, but I can tell all of its money was put into how it looked. The gameplay was repetitive. It was dog shit. I wasn't gonna play that, but I was like, I'm waiting on Gotham Knights. But on console, it failed. But anyway, yeah.
It's
Not to mention Avengers had Miss Marvel too, so now.
Yeah.
The game, I was about to say that the Avengers and Gotham Knights is just fun just to be cooperative with your homies. But solo play, nah. But okay, so
I hope the new Logan Wolverine game isn't like that. But anyway, go ahead.
I guess
they already ruined Jean Grey.
I think the game is gonna not be good based on what I've seen. They don't make no changes. The game is gonna
alpha
they don't make any changes based on what I've seen. And why does it take Wolverine like 6, 7 to 8 swipes to kill a regular dude?
I saw that. I was like,
all they had to do was just copy and paste X-Men Origins Wolverine, the video game, because that's one of the best Wolverine games. That's all they had to do. And they pretty much.
I never played it. Yeah, I heard it was definitely good.
If y'all played the Spider-Man on the PS4, it pretty much looks like Spider-Man on the PS4. Pretty much the same assets.
They better significantly change that Wolverine.
So Bundle, I remember earlier on the phone you had a mention of some comic series that DC has upcoming that could be interesting.
That's what I spoke on. The All Winter. The All Winter is really the one that I really was excited about. I only touched on it briefly. I didn't want to do a spoiler because literally it just came out like last week or 2 weeks ago, and it's a continuation of the Dark Knights of Steel. Where they kind of did the medieval take of DC Comics, where the Kryptonians came and helped, and actually Batman was a son of Jor-El, and he was half Kryptonian as well, and he realized that the White Martians were the ones that were transforming into people that were pretending to be an enemy of the Kryptonians, but also an enemy of the Amazonians, and also the enemy of the Storm Country. Almost on some Game of Thrones type shit. The Storm Country is ran by Black Lightning and his shit, like the Black Targaryens, if you will. You know what I mean? And Jor-El and the Kryptonians was King's Landing, and the Amazonians were whoever, Dorne, and then the White Martians were infiltrating each of these countries and posing to be the monarchs and patriarchs of each represented country, and then doing heinous crimes. So all of these countries would come together, and it would impact every major DC character. You know what I mean? So, and it was just a medieval feel. And then now they're doing a part 3 of this, and they're no longer following the traditional Amazonian, Wayne family Kryptonians. It starts off with Slade Wilson being a Viking, the last living Viking of his clan, after a giant massacre of some crazy shit and like almost some White Walker type shit, but they're basically Solomon Grundy variants, you know what I mean? And he's got this magical axe that's like Kratos type shit, but he looks like this shirtless Viking, but he keeps the Deathstroke, type of helmet on. But it's not a helmet, it's more of like a drapery, but it's still orange and black with no eye, you know what I mean? But I don't want to give away too much of it because it's absolutely worth the read. Comic Breakdown does a great one. Rob on Robcore Comics, whatever like this. I'll put it in the Discord. But it's worth the read. I don't want to sully it by leaving out details by me talking about it now. Just check it out. But DC, as far as comics, old argument, like
do you think it could save? Do you think it could save anything?
It won't necessarily save it. But DC Comics, as a comics, they don't need to be saved. We just have a really high expectation of what comic book sales should be doing because we've lived in this comic book era since 2008. So now that we've seen a decrease in sales, we're like, oh, you guys must be bumming. You're dying. You're dead. They're not dying. They're not doing as well as they were before, but the money that's already been funneled in the last 10 to 15 years will sustain them for whatever. So they're not dying. It's just they've overhauled themselves with stories for the last 15 years. So if anything, they kind of need to just brainstorm what unique and what new can we do? Because we've given you everything to the point that we're now even bringing in Alien and Predator on certain projects, just doing crossovers to go ahead and fill in the gap so we can go ahead and let our imagination fill up, because we've given you amalgamation characters. We've merged certain characters, Phoenix Force, with this. We merged this, and this. We brought this in. We brought... God damn it, what do y'all want now? That's where they're at now.
So yeah, but
I feel like they know what the fans want, but they keep on giving. I feel like DC is the worst when it comes to delving into the identity politics and getting into that, because DC was one of the first companies that had all new DC Rainbow LGBT with Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy.
I remember.
We still got them little
Since
FIMO
2000.
issues running around.
And the pink,
It's crazy.
kryptonite and all that stuff.
I
It
had
ran
that
away so
comic.
many people, dude.
I have that comic. I'm looking at it. I have that comic on my bookshelf right there. Anyway, my bad.
Yeah, so that's a huge turnoff for me, because listen, I'm not gay. I don't think Jonan's gay. I don't think Bundle's gay.
Ain't nobody
I don't
in
think
here
Jay
yet.
Leno's
We
gay.
ain't
So
fucking
who
with
are
the
these
booty
comics for? Like, why you keep putting all these characters that were never gay, making them gay? Tim Drake, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy. I can go on. Like, all these characters.
It didn't
they're just-
expand their audience. It really ran them off.
Yeah, all
I
they do is
did.
run them away.
But it's like,
before
there
I
are
used to argue-
comics.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I was about to say, there are comics out there that's like for people that are gay and this stuff, and that's cool.
Mhm.
But it's not DC or Marvel or the
Yeah.
superhero genre in general. That's not. It doesn't work.
Yeah,
Like,
you're
together.
right.
Now
I
you
used to
can have
argue-
some characters that are gay or whatever. That's cool. You can have like a Batwoman or something or whatever, but just
My
don't
problem
make that
is
like
how
a
they
whole
throw it right in your
LGBT
Yeah,
face.
or
you-
whatever.
you have to understand who your audience is, and it's like we understand that representation matters, and they will also want to give a voice to the voiceless, or a stance of those who haven't have that much of representation. We get that, but when you try to make it as mainstream, every single thing that you're doing, shoving it down your throat, trying to be that, you have to understand who your audience is. You've already scratched that itch of trying to, show them representation. You got that. But understand who is funding this, who is reading this, who loves this, who's the decades worth of fans. With respect, it's not the homosexual audience you're trying to reach. It's the nerds that have loved this since 7-year-old, and now we're 37. The 30 years later, and so it's like, I understand what you're doing. I can be an ally. I respect that. Be gay, cool, like that. But you've given them that comic book. I'm not saying F them at all. But if you want to be like, well, why aren't our shit selling? Because you're still trying to appease a market and a demographic that don't give a fuck. They're going to go ahead and retweet and say, oh, yeah, that's for us. And that's it. But us, who are the ones who are really the buy-in market, hey, yo, give us what we want, motherfucker. We the one that's still been here. You did what you want for that.
If they're
Pat
in,
on your back, you know what I mean?
When I go to the
Yeah.
stores, anybody 50 years or up say that they don't even touch, look at, or even attempt to read anything new anymore.
I don't blame them. Dude, that's my
true,
pop.
but-
That's my dad. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut in again. My dad's 72 years old. My dad used to do all that stuff. Dark Horse Comics, Thor, all of that and shit like this. He don't even fuck with that, the comic books anymore. He'll watch the MCU for the sake of it, but the new school comics, he be like, I don't want that fruity shit. And that's all I had to say. My bad. I mean, cut you off. My bad.
Yeah.
No, you're good. That's hilarious.
Serious. I mean, because I go to the comic book stores on Wednesdays because DC and Marvel and Independence everything has been dropped that's supposed to be released on that day. And there's like 2 or 3 guys that's there every Wednesday. And when I check him out, when I had one conversation with one guy and we introduced each other. When I saw, we both were grabbing that Werewolf by Night that just started. He said, I'm only grabbing this.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm only grabbing this because Werewolf by Night is my you know what I'm saying, it's my shit. That's my story, that's my shit.
Jack Russell.
Like, I catch him grabbing like Frankenstein, Dracula, all those different series like that. That's his thing. And then he went out of his way and said, yeah, I don't buy none of this new shit. They've got some stuff going on that I'm not cool with. And I'm like, he's really trying to say, I ain't with that. I ain't with that. I ain't buying
I
none of
talked
this
to
shit.
somebody in a comic shop recently near me. They pretty much said the same thing. It was an older guy too. He said he wasn't buying none of that new Marvel or DC stuff because of the identity politics and the gay
It's
agenda.
adapting too much.
And
It's adapting too much. They really start doing that. when they were doing the X-Men, you know that was that Met Gala, not the Met Gala, but what was it called?
The little Hellfire
Gala. Hellfire Gala. I ain't gonna lie, some of those outfits were pretty cool, like the Storm, you know, Colossus, blah blah blah. But they're really putting it on there. And what I could see it coming. Sync, the new Omega level mutant they just like, you know, introduced. I really fucked with his power level, where he was going and shit like this. And so, and obviously because honestly he looks just like me as a comic book character. I was like, there you go. But now I don't know if you've seen his newest comics that they're doing. They're pushing. The nigga gay as hell, bro. They haven't came out as it, but now everything they show, he's got like an LGBT.
Oh yeah, you're talking about how
rainbow and shit like that
trying to make
behind
him like the new Wolverine.
And I'm
and all
just
that
like,
stuff.
man, don't do this to my, because as soon as I read him, I'm like, this is mine. Like, his powers are sick. New mutant. He literally looks just like. I mean, even the height of that. Remember, 6'2", 220. I was like, he built just like me. Oh, I'm like, yeah. Now they're doing his new Hellfire Gala outfit. Straight LGBT.
Any character you like back then is now
all
gay
pride
for some
shit.
reason.
And I'm just like, who's gonna be his boyfriend now? And then the newest shit I saw him, it was just like, it was him
Iceman.
and no, it was not Iceman. Daredevil. Kurt said something.
No.
Kurt Wagner
Wait.
said something, and Sync turned around and looked, and I was just like, I'm about to break the fucking screen. I'm about to throw my phone when I saw it. I was mad.
You remember when they made Colossus gay for Iceman? I was pissed at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
I was
I think that was in
dude,
the Ultimate.
you
comics,
remember
yeah.
when they made Wolverine gay with Hercules?
yeah, that was
Yeah.
some nasty ass
Yeah.
foul
Yeah.
right there.
It was
Yeah,
it was an
Jeff-
Ultimate,
yeah, Jeff-
universe type
Jeff
of thing.
said, what?
But no.
Yeah, Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff, you missed that one. Yeah, Wolverine and Hercules was a love couple.
I remember
bro.
seeing that
Yeah.
on YouTube one time.
So what
Yeah.
was the story? Like Wolverine lived such a long time, he got bored with all the
Yeah,
ladies.
bro,
He decided
it
to go
was
balls deep, play sword fighting with
Fam.
Hercules.
They realized their love for each other was chopping wood. He had his axes and Wolverine had his claws and shit. And Wolverine said some slick shit.
This
And
sounds like
fam, they had a whole
Mountain
scene about.
Time.
You tell me, dude, honestly, Jeff, at your own discretion, look it up right now. Hercules
No.
and Wolverine.
It's another
Bro,
universe though. It's not
Fam,
the. It's not
they
the
got a
mainstream.
comic book
Yeah.
panel of them two in the bed.
Kiss
Hold
only.
on, hold on. What's
Oh,
the name
God.
of the comic? BTG.
Even
wanted to
then,
know.
I
I don't know the
that's a
name
bad
of the comic book,
excuse, too.
but you can go ahead and type in Wolverine and Hercules
he knew
love
that
story. Love story. They have a panel of
There
them
you
two
have. There you
in
have
the
it.
bed.
Just look that.
Don't
one
make
up,
no
BTG.
sense. The God of Strength is in the bed with 5'3" hairy ass Wolverine under the
Especially when
moonlight.
Hercules
I'm
did with like
pissed.
She-Hulk and everything.
I'm pissed.
Yeah, I was
like,
pissed at that too.
I was pissed.
Okay.
I'm like, what?
And people can say it's in an alternate universe all they want, but that's
But it's
still
still kind of, like,
disrespectful.
damning to
Nobody
their
wants to
character.
see that
Yeah.
shit. Like that's fucking nasty.
Yeah, that's
The only
crazy work.
bed.
If
only
we really
bed
wanted to focus on
panel
like
I-
the gay
Let's start
Wolverine,
here.
instead of like
Since
focus
we're
on
here
the
right
sun
now.
backing.
What was the purpose of them implementing the pink kryptonite?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't even know that's
it is.
canon or not.
Why?
split the
Why does
DC
it matter?
comics. Okay, you
Why-
switched.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be.
Jay Leno, basically the gay agenda. That's why.
Yeah, I know,
Because they
bro. I
wanted
mean, is it like
Superman
the
to be gay.
storyline? Is it like
To be honest,
was it a punishment? Was it like you know what? Guess what,
I've
Batman?
been
Hit you with
I've
the-
been reading some Superman and stuff, but
this is
I don't know if
great.
that's canon yet per se.
Yeah, and they made
where I'm at.
Batman gay in a comic too. I'm pretty sure they made Nightwing gay in one of them too. Like everybody, like
Yeah, they
we don't
did.
need all these characters to be gay. Like, what's the problem?
I still fuck
Leave
with that
them
one
alone.
animated scene where Harley Quinn got out her outfit and she tied Nightwing up. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
From
Yeah,
Batman
just talking
Harley
about-
Quinn, yeah, that
She
movie.
tied,
That
she
movie was
tied his
terrible.
ass up and she went ahead and stripped in front of him and he got bricked up. And she saw him in his little Speedo suit and was like, oh yeah? And he said, don't get no funny ass ideas. She turned the lights off, said, too late. Rode that nigga all night, bro.
Mm.
They had that
But-
shit,
He didn't
I was
consent
just
to
like,
it.
y'all cry.
He
He did.
didn't.
Yeah, he
He
did.
didn't verbally
He didn't
consent to
consent
it.
to it. He
Not
did,
him.
but she didn't get the backlash like Anissa did from Invincible when she raped Mark.
Yeah,
Everyone
that
knows
was-
that. You think they're gonna
Yeah.
show that next season?
I can't say it would be next
I
season.
know, I know
though.
that. I know that's well off topic. So we'll get back. But yeah, I was
no,
just
you're
saying,
good.
yeah. But anyway,
But
yeah.
no, but to answer your question, Jay Leno, about like what would I do to save the DC universe? Honestly, I would just say just like focus more on like the video game stuff and like
Yeah.
maybe like some of the movies and all that other stuff, and maybe there's some like the animated stuff, like the shows and movies, because that way you can kind of get cosplayers and stuff. Like once they see certain type of skins or costumes and stuff that they've never seen before, that they might want to try out, that kind of thing.
You have any faith
but then
in
also,
James Gunn going forward?
Oh, I don't know about if James Gunn's the right person for that job.
I don't know. Yeah. We'll see what it does.
But
I think the best way they can save DC is if they get rid of the identity politics in their comics.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
They should
Yeah,
kill
that's
her
the
off.
first thing that I gotta go.
I'm tired of her.
You gotta get rid of
They
that.
should kill her off or stop
Yeah.
using her for a while, and then
Right,
focus on building up, because we already got Superman coming out. Focus on building Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and then just go from there. You could even lead into the Justice League of America, or even go back to the Justice Society and connect it to them too. Like people want to see stuff like that. We don't want to see Creature Commando and Suicide Squad all the time.
Right. I hated that Black Adam flop because I really dug the character design for a lot of those characters. Like Dr. Fate, I really liked the way he looked, man. I was like, that Dr. Fate, like that looks that is a great.
He just needs the eyes though.
That's a great cinematic adaptation. That was awesome, but it's just in the movie that you know.
They nerfed him in that movie too.
Yeah, they did. He got killed by like that one thing.
Yeah,
but I still think that version of Dr. Fate can beat Doctor Strange, though.
Oh, Dr. Fate is far stronger than Doctor Strange.
It's like that across the board.
Silver
It's
Age,
in the comics, he's way stronger than Doctor Strange.
Yeah, even Silver Age Doctor Strange, which was absolutely ridiculous. They had to nerf him. Silver Age comics was over the top. Their late 70s, mid 70s, late 70s, early 80s, their comic books were ridiculous. But they had to literally nerf Doctor Strange from the feats of power and strength that he was able to do. But even during those times, Dr. Fate is still stronger.
BTG, how would you save the DC universe, my good sir?
Oh, wait, and before he says anything, I got one more thing to say.
Go ahead.
I kind of wanted to say, and I also kind of wanted to focus on like a newer kind of generation. So like, think of it like Young Justice, right? How like because a lot of people love Young Justice, they already had like an already established Justice League and a bunch of other heroes and stuff. So they can easily just cut to something like that for like a video game or even a movie and stuff without like having to build it up. It's just like, that's just my opinion. But anyway,
new generation will gravitate towards that. I mean, to be honest with you, my kids, they told me that they're tired of Superman and Batman, and they want to see something new.
Yeah, like I mean, people are already familiar with the stories, so the whole purpose of like introducing something new is like for people to get more information about something, you know. So like if you go to the comics, obviously you're gonna get a lot more lore and etc. Than you're gonna like get from like the movies and etc. and all that. So that's what I'm saying. Like focus on a different kind of character versus retelling the same story over and over again, but just this is my spin on it, or this director, or so on and so forth. But that's just my takeaway from it. Who, me?
Yeah.
From Maryland.
From Maryland? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
How old are you?
25.
Okay. All right. You a fan of Maryland? Real quick. You a fan of Maryland sports?
Not really.
Okay, never mind. I was going to say Michigan State plays y'all tomorrow. Michigan State's on the team. We're coming for you. Anyway, okay.
You can tell from my voice.
Yeah, I care about it anyway.
Especially if y'all seen the later seasons when they brought it back and they made it super well pandered. All of it, like that pretty much is what killed Young Justice, because Young Justice was good the first two seasons.
Yeah, they dropped the ball there, but they could still like have that kind of like energy for like you know what I mean, if like they just at the start. But it doesn't have to be specifically Young Justice, but it could be like like Superboy or the Teen Titans or something like that. Or
we also had Titans though, which had those characters on there too. I just don't care for the sidekick characters. I want the main heroes. I don't want sidekicks.
True.
Well, then, I guess at that point, then you go straight into at that point, then you go straight into the Titans and that lore, and go beyond that, rather than have them be sidekicks.
Yeah, or like
they're always still going to be sidekicks though.
DC has great,
or at least legacy characters.
To be honest with you, the younger generation doesn't look at Robin as a sidekick to Batman when it comes to the Titans. I mean, we do, but
Yeah, I mean,
Robin?
it depends on which Robin. If we're talking like Damian, oh yeah, definitely. But it's like from Dick Grayson to maybe Tim Drake, then that's a little bit different.
Don't even read this comment, please. But
I read.
what is it?
You
Yeah,
said
I
you
just
would
don't think
renew
it'll
Gotham Knights? That's crazy.
I just don't think it'll work though. Just because like the fact that they already tried it, and like some of us want to have that rehashed again, and it didn't do well the first time. I just don't think it'll do them any favors to try to redo that same, like rehash that same story with those same characters. You would have to build up to that again.
If I was DC, I would honestly, if I was James Gunn, I know he's not going to do this, I would say, all right, we don't have the amount of time to go ahead and do 10, 12, 15 years of what the MCU did. It worked, but obviously that's not going to go. I would just go ahead and do kind of what Netflix does, kind of with their, like, Love, Death, and Robots and their, League of Legends, whatever. I would just release an anthology, kind of. But a movie form, and just, like, give you the most favorite comic book stories that you guys like, and just hire those characters for those movies, and don't just try to make an entire
like some Twilight Zone
cinematic type shit that everything's got to connect. If you want to be like, hey, I might bring this actor back for this movie or this movie for 2 times, whatever like that, but I was just like, you're not going to keep up with Marvel, so just hey, what is your best story?
That's how you stand out.
Adapt a 2-hour movie for Killing Joke. Adapt a 2-hour movie for this. Adapt a 2-hour movie for Injustice. Adapt a 2-hour movie for Deceased. Adapt a 2-hour movie for Dark Knight Death Metal. Adapt a 2-hour movie for whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And just do it that way, because you're not going to build a whole cinematic universe again that we're going to give a fuck about for the next 10 years. It's just not going to happen.
Plus, DC got the keys to do it too, because I mean, all that multiverse and like all that multiverse concepts and the legacy,
and it's just like
that was DC, and then the legacy characters like the sidekicks and all that, DC they do it better.
And if it fell kind of flat on the face with James Gunn's Flash thing, remember James Gunn inherited Flash. That was already written. So like, I remember when people were giving him a lot of shit, like, because they were looking at Guardians of the Galaxy and how Guardians of the Galaxy 3, for those who cared about it, was peak in certain areas. Okay, whatever. And then Flash was just ass. And it's just like, yes, he did direct Flash, but the Flash script, everything about it was already done. He just had to adapt it. You know what I mean? Just like, it wasn't his, it wasn't something he did. You know what I mean? But the end of it, even though it was that whole Elseworlds showing that it felt forced, the CGI, even though it wasn't represented well. But even if you piggyback off of that, you don't necessarily have to this movie. They all have to make sense. Like I said, just adapt the best stories of DC's Elseworld. And DC, whatever. Now I want to overuse the multiverse, because that's Marvel shit. But just do that. Don't try to just make a whole new cinematic universe. Just adapt the best comic book stories, and then maybe reuse a few actors that you use and put them into that story, so we can be like, oh, you played Batman in that one, or oh, that's Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson's Batman and so-and-so story, you know what I mean, blah, 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 or something like that, you know what I mean? Because you're not going to rebuild a cinematic universe. You're just not going to do it. I just give the people their favorite stories.
I think that's a good idea.
Then just adapt it with the best actors.
Yeah. Not to mention, DC used to adapt a lot of their animated stuff, like Batman and Superman, Public Enemies, and all that stuff, like complete 1-to-1. So it definitely was great. Like back in the day, it didn't have to be like some overarching universe or anything like that.
Yeah, maybe do something like that where Flash or somebody can see that type of Elseworld shit before and go into one of them, and not just build a whole universe. Just be like, no, I want to take on that story. I want to take on Deceased. I want to take on Injustice. Brainiac takes Kandor there. Hey, you know what? Hey, Darkseid over there and Apocalypse. Just do that.
Right.
Just do that.
What do y'all think of, since Halloween's around the corner, them trying to do like a live action Gods versus Monsters or a Blackest Night storyline? If they try to do something like that,
like a comic book, or are you talking about like an animated movie or something?
If it's done right, that's exactly what I'm just talking about.
I think at this point, it's not about hype. I think it has to be a good product. As long as it's a good product, like okay, something that's like anticipated for and
That's
highly
like out of
promoted,
left
it'll
field.
bring people in the chairs. But if they do a solid, good product, even if it doesn't do well right then and there, it's going to build up into something.
Perfect example. Werewolf by Night. That was left field, out of nowhere. Didn't no one know it was coming for the MCU. Didn't really tie in, and had everything to do with the holiday coming up. And honestly, and Werewolf by Night, honestly, I think we can all get behind it. That was a good representation of it. You know what I mean? Even in the black and white edition of it.
That's why
DC
I brought
can
it
do
up.
that. DC
That's
can
why I
do
brought
that.
it.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
why I brought
perfect
those
example.
movies up
Yeah.
because of the
Yeah,
Halloween
perfect
thing,
example,
because
bro.
of Werewolf by Night.
Yeah. They can do that. They can do that, dude. Calabac coming in, Dark Side Sun, and then just build up.
Kevin David said that David Zaslav is going to eventually sell Warner Brothers Discovery.
Who is?
David Zaslav. Yeah.
Oh, the billionaire.
Do you think they're getting that far in the red that he would want to get rid of that property?
He may not
It's
just
hard to
care
say. That's
to
hard
deal
to
with it
determine right
anymore.
now.
But you know how much
It
money
could be like
he would
debt or
get
something.
though? You know how much money he would get off of that? Because he wouldn't even be selling it based off of the money it makes right now. He'd be selling it off of the potential money it could make in the future.
Yeah,
I mean,
kind of like
that'd
with, Marvel with like Universal and Sony and all that.
That's how Elon Musk bought Twitter. He bought it based off of his Tesla shares.
I wouldn't want Paramount. I would not want
be
Paramount
worth.
to get a hold of DC. I trust Amazon.
They could probably, they'll probably kidify it or something.
Yeah, Amazon. Yeah, actually, I ain't gonna lie. I can't think of a show Amazon's missed on. They've had some movies or shows that may not have been popular as other ones, but I can't say they've been bad or duds.
Now,
Amazon ain't missed.
marketing wise, if they would have picked up a property like DC, I don't want it to interfere with how often that they
Definitely the boys
Invincible or the
It wasn't bad.
It was trash. Season 1 through 3 were
quite honestly like
it was, but again, it's just our standards are just so high for that show. It wasn't a bad show.
If Amazon ends up grabbing DC, then like I don't think that they would have to. I don't think marketing wise they'll be able to promote The Boys and Invincible simultaneously.
With respect, I think Bezos could do it. You really think Warner Brothers and Times, whatever the thing is, Times something, blah blah blah, which owns Warner Brothers, you think they would sell out to Bezos?
Yeah.
You really think they would sell out to Bezos?
That's true. They don't want a monopoly. They don't want.
Outside of Disney and Universal, no one's bigger than them.
I know. I don't know if Universal will want to grab.
They have New Line Cinema. They have Lionsgate. Like that's a big sellout. Like. I forget the name they have. It's called It's called Time something, and they own Warner Brothers, New Line Cinema, Lionsgate, Twisted Pictures. No. Warner is owned by these guys. I forget the name of them, but it's called Times something. I always want to call it Times New Roman, just because my mind just wants to call it that off the font. But it's like that. It's like 3 words, like Times something, and under them is that. And outside of Universal and Disney, they're it. I'm just like, I don't think anyone would sell them. Like AMC, they own AMC as well. That's why like Tekken, Mortal Kombat, blah blah, so they can get those characters on their games. Like they own all that. I just forget the name of it. But anyway. But Bezos and Amazon, they give people what they want. Okay. I can't argue with any of their productions. You know what I mean? Just like Netflix, they have their own movies like that, Tomorrow War or whatever like that, with Chris Pratt or whoever, J.K. Simmons. It may not have been the biggest movie, but it wasn't a dud. It wasn't bad. Their TV shows are hits. Their animated series with Invincible is awesome. I can't say anything bad about Amazon's production studios. I really can't.
All right, guys. trying to think. Is there anything y'all think? Any other ideas on how to possibly save?
DC?
I
You need to
mean-
get a side Rebic. That's what they need to do, even though Marvel got him owned. You need to get him to draw their shit. The best illustrator in the game. That's my boy.
I just
I mean,
leave it
I-
off with this analogy right here. Like pretty much just like Pokemon, because you know, like Pokemon is like one of the top like franchises in the world. So like when you think Pokemon, right, you think of either the video games, trading cards, or the anime itself, and they all three of them like kind of sell each other. So if you can make it as equally as good like that, like with the video games, the animated movies or cartoons or whatever, and maybe the shows or whatever, or not the shows, but the you know what I mean, whatever.
What could
Then
do
people
it?
will flock to the comics eventually.
What could do it? Because Marvel, as you see, like is trying. Like even the new game, Marvel Rivals, trying to do this whole, you know,
It's like
Overwatch,
Overwatch.
type, you know,
They've
shit
been
like that.
behind on
Like,
video games.
What
They
could
needed
what
to
could
follow
DC
video
do?
games.
I mean, the Injustice video game is popping.
Because
That's
DC
cool.
been having
But
that
We
what
going.
need
could
an
they
Injustice
do?
3. That's what we need.
They do need
Injustice
Justice 3. They do need that. They need that. I mean, they got the new Mortal Kombat, whatever, new Animality project, whatever coming out. Don't get me wrong, I'm all over it. I'm gonna play it. And
Or
but,
they could do
yeah,
some like solo
they
games with
need
like
that.
some other heroes.
yeah,
all that
you-
stuff, you know?
they need that. Gotham and Suicide Squad didn't hit the way that they thought. That did hurt them. They did hurt them. But
And the fact that that Suicide Squad game was actually supposed to originally be a Superman game because it took place in Metropolis.
mhm.
Yeah, that was
That's
that
the
was
sad
pretty dumb
part.
too.
they do.
It
need
took
to
them
make
like
that
what
Superman
9
game.
years or 10 years to try and get that game done. I was like, man,
And then
It's
someone
terrible.
else like made another a Superman game how it should be. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. You probably seen it on Twitter or Facebook or something like that. It's called like Unlimited or Unleashed or something like that.
I remember glimpses and clips.
Which you know what I'm talking about, yeah. And they keep like fine tuning it and shit like that. And it's just like, but
It's
it almost
getting
looks a lot
product.
like
I
Cole
remember
McGrath's. What was that? PlayStation game with the guy with the electricity. Starts with a U.
I know what you're talking about.
Cole McGrath.
I think I've seen it before. But yeah.
Some I forget. But anyway,
Uncharted.
no,
Is it
not
Unanimous?
Uncharted, that was
Nah,
Unanimous?
that's not it.
Infamous. Infamous.
it was like a
Infamous.
darts.
Infamous.
Yeah, that's
Infamous.
Oh,
Cole, yeah, Cole McGrath, yeah, Infamous, yeah. He was they had a name for it, like you know,
Because he was telekinesis and
pyromancer or blah blah
like
blah,
that.
blah, blah. But it was electricity and it was a something mancer, but they gave it a cool name. And I'm like, I've never thought of an electric user as that type of name, you know what I mean? But it had a name to it, I forgot what it was. But anyway, point is, it had that type of point of view to it and potential to it, and just anyway, the Superman game is what I'm talking about. And it's an indie produced game, and it looked like that, but it had all Superman based powers. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. I just forget what the name was, but if they had really got some funding behind that, that'd been the one game I'd fuck with, because anyone knows me knows I hate Superman. So, but anyway, yeah.
And plus, I hear like one of the best Superman games people mostly talk about is like Superman Returns. and stuff.
Yeah,
I
I
heard
heard
that's
that
one
too.
of the worst Superman
Yeah.
games.
I'm-
People don't
And
like
I've
it.
heard that too.
There's
That's why I
never
like-
been a
Yeah, people
good
don't like
Superman
Superman
game.
Returns. I don't know
A lot
what
of
you
it-
heard.
Never
We
been.
I do love
represent
that
all
style of return,
areas of it.
But
We represent all areas.
I'll say this. When I was a kid, those Batman video games on Super Nintendo and Sega that came out with the movie were cool because I was young. But
Mm.
DC video games were all trash when I was a kid.
Dang.
Yeah, they were.
All
Yeah,
of them
they
were trash. Really? Really?
God.
Really?
Nah, think about it. Yeah, back in the 90s.
You're right, Jonathan. You
X-Men on
trying to think of a
Sega
good one,
and
ain't you?
X-Men and freaking Spider-Man were the only
Jonathan trying to think of a good
like
one.
Marvel ones that was real dope until they came into fighting. I feel
You're
like
really,
fighting
you're
was
right.
Marvel versus
You're right. If
Marvel
you
versus
truly
Captain.
think
Like
of
Batman
all
Forever, that
members
video
of the
game, all that
Justice
stuff.
League.
Yeah, Batman
If you-
Forever, loved it as a kid, but like go back and play it, it's like,
Oh
what the hell am
my
I doing?
God. If you think about it,
Well,
yeah,
back in
all members of
2005,
Justice
they
League.
released a cool Batman Begins game that was a tie-in to the
That-
movie.
I had
game
that
was
one.
actually
Christopher
good.
Nolan's
I had it on
joint?
PS2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Me
good
too.
game.
That was
actually.
when they were trying to go ahead and tie in like movies with the
The
real
movies.
characters. Because they did that
Yeah.
with the Matrix. They did that
Yeah,
with
they had a lot of
Path
they had
and
a lot of
Neo,
games.
Path and
with,
Neo was
Jeff's
yeah.
game.
top five best.
Yeah,
And they did that
Spider-Man
with
2 and
the
all that,
Ghost and Niobe Matrix game as well.
Into the Matrix. That I hated that one.
They did that, but that was when they were trying. And also that was when they did Logan's Wolverine game.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
X2,
Wolverine's Revenge.
Wolverine's Revenge.
That's when they were.
I think I
they were
might still
doing
have
like,
that somewhere.
remakes of like
GameCube stuff.
They're
Yeah.
doing movie adaptations of the video games. That was the shit during that time. I remember that. Yeah.
It's funny because they advertised Hugh Jackman's face on the cover.
On it, but
Yeah,
got
they
nothing
did.
to do with
Yeah,
him.
they did.
Yeah, it got nothing to do with him in the game. I was like,
Nothing
wait.
like Hugh Jackman.
That's a huge miss.
I mean, they had Mark.
Remember last
they had
year,
Mark
I
Hamill
showed
there.
y'all that horrible ass Bad Boys video game they tried to throw at everybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that game is trash too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And the very next year was it
But yeah,
Bulletproof 50 Cent? 50 Cent Bulletproof came out.
Oh yeah. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I had fun playing Bulletproof. I ain't gonna lie. It was like
I ain't gonna
it was
lie
like,
to you. That
it was
reminds
like
me
playing an
of
adventurous as
what was that like?
Vendetta.
What was that? Dead or Alive? Streets of LA. What was that shit? Remember that shit? Streets of LA. It's like
24 to Life.
no. Oh, I remember that shit too.
You talking about Dead to? You talking about you got Dead to Right?
LA,
You got
Max Payne.
Yeah, you had State of Emergency. That was a rock.
State of Emergency.
It's right. 24
G
to Life.
Unix game, Bulletproof, and it was Streets of LA because you could use the Game Shark and you could pick Snoop Dogg.
Oh, that's
And he
True
was like-
Crime. True Crimes of LA.
True Crime, Streets of LA. There it is.
Yeah,
Yeah. And he would rob the car. And say,
Snoop Dogg had a
"Out the car,
burgundy suit.
So I clap at your bitch ass, and it was Snoop.
I remember that. You get him when you beat the game.
That shit was clown. Anyway, my bad. But I did.
But I mean, yeah, video games will definitely help save the DC realm.
will, yeah.
But DC's been holding it down. Marvel's just now been getting on board with their video games. I mean, we'll see what Marvel Rivals is going to
Dude,
get.
I forgot. DC put out Blue
Yeah, I'm
Beetle.
gonna play Marvel Rivals when that drops.
Oh yeah, we all should play that. I'm getting it.
Yeah, we should.
I literally just downloaded. If you guys play it, Space Marine 2 Warhammer 40K. I don't know if y'all fuck with that. I'm big on that too. I just downloaded my pre-order. Just got done downloading while we're talking, so I'll play it tomorrow. A little off topic though, if you don't mind. I wanted to ask you guys because I'm a big fan of this guy. I say it all the time. SJ probably tired of hearing me saying it. Asad Rebit is my boy, and him illustrating the final art on Avengers versus Alien. We don't get We don't get
issue
second copy till November 18th, which pisses me off.
Damn, why so late?
That is
Why
so
so late?
annoying. I don't know. They're doing like the DC's type
DC's
shit.
probably
You know,
got
like
another
DC
series
took
they're trying to
10
sell,
years.
guys. That's what y'all gotta remember.
One quick before I get back there, because I think they're doing this. You know, DC's took 10 years to finish. It's 14 issues, 2 bonus, so 16. 10 years to release the entire thing. Came out. It started in 2012 and finished in 2022. That's when Jeff first started doing this, and we actually had a stream about that. Me and Parker hopped in there. We're like, DC's final issue just came out. White Batman, Damian Wayne did what he did because fucking Alfred became the Green Spectre, and it was just it was a sick issue. It took them 12 years. And they're doing damn near the same thing with this. I don't think they're going to do that, but they said they're going to release 2 issues this year. The first one just came out the end of August. The next one's not going to be out till November 18th. The second one will be to the end of February next year. And then they're going to take like a break or something like that. They said something, I read whatever like that, but it's just like, but it's not Asad who's doing it, because he just draws left and right like crazy. He does a lot of independent work for like Valiant Comics and whatever like that. I don't know if you guys know who Arias Quillon is for Variant Comics. They released their own shit with this guy named Unlimited. He actually doing some freelance work for them. I digress. I'm just being a nerd right now. But anyway, I really fuck with his artwork, what he's doing. He did Doom's Battle World, the whole God Emperor Doom snatching Thanos' spine out of him, disintegrating him. What we're getting into right now, T'Challa wielding the Infinity Gauntlet, snapping his fingers, destroying Doom down to
Hey
a
fellas,
skeleton.
make sure y'all hit that like button for me
And
too.
Doom put himself back together and said, that was rather unpleasant. And they went hands up. There was God Emperor Doom with the powers of the Beyonder, and T'Challa with the Infinity Gauntlet. It was the sickest fight ever. And Asad Arivik drew it. And now he's doing Avengers vs. Alien. My bad. I'm done fanboying. My point is, how do y'all feel about it? Do you guys like the issue? Like they fast forward a couple of decades. All the heroes have fallen. The X-Men said, fuck it. They left Krakoa. They went to Mars. None of the mutants are helping. The Inhumans fell to them. I feel like a lot of the heroes within the story could have literally one-shotted the aliens, but they really delved in and made it like, hey, within 1 day, there's 1,000 of them. Within 2 days, there's this. Within 1 week, there's 10 million. The blah, 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 and how fast they can reproduce. So I understood how they would overpower, obviously, human forces, but the heroes, I just feel like, I don't know. But they did give, now they're so far in the future, like, Hulk is like 60. You know, Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, she's like 65, and she says, like, hey, when the aliens finally break through, I'm giving in the binary. I'm saying, fuck it. I'm going to scorch the entire goddamn planet. I'm letting everything go. I'm going to kill everything. You know what I mean? And Hulk's like, I just want to see it. I just feel like with Sentry, Venom, a whole bunch of other heroes, they would have been able to beat the Xenomorphs, but maybe I'm tripping. But I love the story, and I love the illustrator. I've talked too much. How do you guys feel about Aliens versus Avengers?
I haven't started reading it yet, but it sounds interesting.
Oh my god! Nah,
I watch videos about it, but I haven't read it myself.
Oh, it's such a good story.
If you have a topic, I wouldn't mind. I mean, I could stream tomorrow if there's a topic and people are trying to get down.
I got a topic every day for you, but you haven't.
I am going
read
tomorrow,
that?
so I'll probably pick it up.
Okay, real quick though.
Because I am going to the comic shop tomorrow.
Well, I could send you. Well, actually, when I tried to send my links, because you know I pay for Comixology and whatever like that. You know what I mean? To go, it never works when I put it in the Discord. But there's a guy that gets through with it called Parthenon Comics. He doesn't have his biggest stream yet. I think probably in the next few months he's gonna get flagged. But he's got the whole thing, how you want it, 4K HD, lets you read it, flips the page for you. I'm gonna put it in the Discord. Check it out.
All right, I'm
the
gonna
first
check it
issue.
out.
It's good. I mean, the way they explain the infestation.
We can do a reaction to it
Xenomorphs.
if you get a chance. If you guys get a chance to read it, do something.
Now, but I know it's late now. So, but tomorrow. But
he hasn't read it yet. That's why I said when he gets to it and everybody else does.
But like, yeah, I'm high on it because it's my favorite illustrator. I call him the modern day Alex Ross.
The next time
he's my guy.
I'll have already read it.
Oh, dude, it's completely worth the read. What happens to Val Richards, Hulk's, the way he draws Hulk, blah, blah, blah. And this is the way they make that. I mean, actually, Bruce Banner, when he walks around, he's so old and shit like that because he has ailments, but everything is worsened by gamma. So he's blind, but he's got cataracts, but he's got gamma cataracts. So he doesn't have like regular, so his cataracts is like an inch thick. He's got like psoriasis of this, but it's like poking out of his body. Like he has the worst human ailments you could ever think of because of gamma radiation. But the moment he turns to Hulk, it all goes away. But when he goes back to human, he's got like the worst everything you could ever happen, like the osteo bone shit, because everything is just gamma. But the way they do the future heroes that are still there, it's such a good read. It's like Old Man Logan type good read, man. It's sick the way they did it.
See, now the only thing I didn't like about Old Man Logan was just how disgusting certain things were in it. Like
I ain't gonna lie, it is pretty disgusting.
And then Mini
Hulk,
swallowing Wolverine, and Wolverine cutting up
incest and all that bull crap.
That's crazy. They don't have
I didn't like none of that stuff about.
They don't have that in here. They don't have that in here, but like how we intrinsically think of how we know the Xenomorphs to be. It's just like, dude, you got Hulk, you got Ares, you got Blue Marvel, you got this, you got snap their fingers. All of these fuckers are dead. You know what I mean? but they're put in situations where they want to protect the defenseless, that puts them in a situation that they're defenseless. So you see how the Xenomorphs overtake them. And the mutants, Magneto, everybody, they said,
hey, hold on. Don't tell them the whole comic. Let them read.
I can't tell them the whole comic. It's an 8-story. It's an 8-story shit, and it's only one issue's out. So I can't say the whole story because I don't know.
Man, let him get there, bro. We ain't about to.
Well, everything I said is everything I've already repeated. It's just humanity lost, and the X-Men said fuck it, and all the Avengers fell to it, and
so it's kind of like another dystopian.
It's a dystopian future, but it's tasteful. It's tasteful. You know what I mean? Because we've participated in plenty of dystopian futures that is like, oh, brother, this guy stinks type shit. You know what I mean? This one is like I said, on the outside looking in, it's like Hulk could just do this. All Xenomorphs should be dead. But they make it make sense. And with the great illustrations of Asad Ribic, like I said, I'm high on that guy. It just is awesome, dude. Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm gonna read it.
They break it down to the White House, breaking down the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the UN, the United Nations. They're trying to scramble, put teams together. Thunderbolts, Defenders,
Apocalypse, they got all.
Dude, they have Apocalypse in there too. Yeah, Apocalypse holds it down. He's the only.
They took their time with this. It wasn't something simple.
Sick. Like
the way they draw him. The Black Panther one is nothing but like an extension of Wolverine.
And shit.
But like they took their time with the aliens one. I'm really jealous because I like Predator more than Aliens.
Apocalypse is cold. Yeah.
He's like, I like Predator more than Alien too.
Yeah,
and Wakanda, the Wakanda Empire is an intergalactic empire. They're the ones that find it. But it's like the child's son is Zuri. He's old, so he's got his mama's powers too, electricity, so he can fry shit. Like, and you gotta see it. You gotta see it. It's
fellas. I'm about to close this out. I'm about to hold on. I gotta put a link in here. Kevin, I think I saw Kevin Miller. I'm gonna send you. Let me see. I'm
gonna put mad links in the stream, Parthenon Comics, everything that I reference, especially
David.
Avengers.
I'm gonna give you I'm gonna send you an invite to the Discord, Brody.
SSJ, you gotta check it. You gotta check it, bro.
Yeah, I will by tomorrow afternoon.
You fucks it. Especially even when the Hulk goes on one-on-one with the Xenomorph. It goes exactly how you think, but it's good art and good writing.
Okay.
All right, guys. You guys got anything y'all want to include while I close this out?
I'm just gonna add that DC. I think DC is dead. That's why it's called DC for Dead Comics. So
deceased,
as far as I'm concerned.
Dead
unless
comics,
they get rid of
DC.
the political, unless they get rid of the identity politics and the gay and woke feminist agenda, and they focus on characters that actually matter, and then build themselves up to those sidekick characters. Then
stop worrying about stop worrying about the voice of people who are on the sides and not actual comic book fans. Exactly. You're worrying about the social media voice of the few. And that turns into a lot, but they're not the true people that sustain or give a F that really fund you. We are.
All right.
We don't hate. We don't hate you. But let's be real. Let's get back to writing to those that appreciate the writing. Get your fans back.
Back to life.
Back to reality. Hey man, depending on how you vote, you might get that reality real soon. We'll see. Hey. But that's another stream. That's another stream.
For real, yeah.
That's another stream. But y'all, I'm gonna put in the Discord. He's closing it down. Things you guys need to see. I know you guys will fuck with it. Asad Ribic, my boy. Avengers, Aliens, all that goodness. I can't wait for the next one. We got a lot to cover.
Thanks for having us, and we'll see you.
Absolutely. Much love. They're living the show. Forever.
Jonah said, "Don't care comment."
Don't care comment. John, I'm fucking with you, my boy. We gotta get you in. Jonah, we're gonna talk. I'm gonna hit you up, man. We gotta figure out your gamer tag or something is. We gotta get you in here.